another joint. Hold this up right here. Another joint right here. My Oswald Queen, Freemasonry, the origin of Freemasonry. Now look at me right quick. I think Oswald crazy. This message is for you. Oswald don't like nobody getting his information out, but this is not this Negro information. In the street. This right here belongs to all of us, man. Yo, Oswald crazy, stop calling me, asking me if I'm selling your tape. Hell no, I ain't selling your tape. Whenever you go into ancient Egypt, our ancestors got that information for us, not for you. You sound like nigga that said Columbus discovered America. You didn't discover this. I remember watching one of the tapes, brother, and not to personally attack you, but I get upset when you keep calling people, talking about this is your information. This is not yours. This now is the
You a slick nigga, selling all my DVDs over the years. How much money you made off of me, Sonetta?
But this is not this Negro information.
Is you like you a schizophrenic or something, nigga? Something wrong with your brain, Sonetta. Why you can't just be right? You just can't be right, nigga.
Now that being said,
the only time when we don't have a beautiful experience is when we fucking with you. So what do? We chop your motherfucking head.
You ain't got no proof, nigga, that I went to the hospital and they all told me I had AIDS. I went to like 4 hospitals, and the hospitals was telling me that I had AIDS. AIDS.
Shaka. I don't give a fuck what Ramesses said. I'm Sonetta. Ramesses was just another man, bro. I don't worship them motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck what Ramesses said. I don't give a fuck what Akhenaten said.
As a people, I hate Africans because of what they did to my people.
I don't believe in old Egyptian gods. I don't believe in that stuff. I wasn't even taught that bullshit, right? I'm the one who bangs against the Comedics. I bang against them and they can't get through me because the gods that they worship, right, were born from another group of thinking, right? So you can't come with me with no goddamn Heru or no other that bullshit. Show it to me in the primary, show it to me in writing, show it to me in the period. You're making the bullshit up.
Polite, if let's say Polite is innocent, he could be a partial victim. You know, maybe he broke up with the girl. Who knows, you know, what happened in that instance. But the only true victim is that girl. So I think that's what we need.
And I think that's being a hypocrite because you have a member of ISUPK who was locked up for child molestation, for rape, or whatever it is, and y'all still support him. Here it is, Polite have not been found guilty, and y'all wouldn't support him. See the double standard?
What
you have
double
a member
standard?
in ISUPK, which y'all support him financially. You put money on his books, but Polite have not been found guilty, and y'all
This how I know you taking a strong. This how I
brother.
know you take a strong position of Polite's innocence, regardless of waiting till the verdict come, because you keep bringing up the same exact thing, even though I've explained the position dozens of times. How many times do I have to explain the same exact position? So in that instance, the brother took a lot of.
Even if you explain it, it still remains the same, though, Captain.
No,
you still support
what remains the same?
Guilty.
But what remains the same, though?
That he was found guilty.
Definitely was found guilty, but he also
Polite was not found guilty.
I'm not saying don't support him, though. Right,
brother. You said if the brother come on my channel, you done. Wait. And you know you got me, man. You got me. I said, all right, brother.
That's right.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another Sonetta TV House of Consciousness production. You already know what it is. This is your brother Sonetta. I am your host, and I'm bringing in another heavy hitter. You brothers and sisters better be ready. When we build this wall, this comedic wall, oh my God, ain't nothing stopping. We bringing in another young brother. He's a scholar. You one leave, 5 more come in. Reggie leave, 5 more come in. You know what I'm saying? Garfield leaves and turn his back on Kemet, 10 more come in. We already got Chris Harris. We bringing in another brother who is awesome, who is powerful. I would say I don't know, between him and Jabari, I would say they probably right here until I see the brother's work and ethic, and if he can handle the ring, getting in, or the battlefield, or whatever, anybody that come at him, if he can deal with that pressure, I think he can, because he's killing. And so without any further ado, I bring to you my brother, Shaka, in the building. What's up, Shaka? He runs the channel of Ma'at Forever. So if y'all are aware of that, make sure you go and subscribe to Ma'at Forever channel. Go over there and show some love for our brother. Peace and black power to you. Hotep. Shaka, what's happening, man? Unmute yourself.
Hotep Sen-E Sanera,
Yeah.
thank you for the invitation. I just want to greet the people as I usually do. Hotep Senu, Hena Senut, Iti, Ren Isha Kandugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. Bonjour, Sak Passe, Mbote, all that good stuff.
Damn, don't
Habari
y'all hear
gani?
that? Don't that sound beautiful to your ears, man, right there? Just to hear him go in on that. I know he dealing with knowledge, man.
Have you ever met the Follow Banger?
No, I've seen him. I've seen him, but
You've seen him.
I'm not acquainted with
Well,
him.
you seen
Yes.
him on YouTube?
But but brother, you like to say I know him and him. In 30 years, you don't have a book, you don't have a
No.
website, you don't have a platform. You have to go on other people's platforms. So you can talk all you want that you were acquainted with
Well,
whoever.
you don't.
It
You
doesn't
have
hold any
anything.
bearing
I mean,
with your scholarship.
Listen. I think everybody knows my work. You're just being introduced. Okay?
What is your work? You've been carrying their suitcases. You went errand and bought them drinks and coffee and tea. Everybody can do that. That's why I nicknamed you Butler.
So Sanetta, Sanetta, so you allow this person to talk about, I carry Sanetta's bags and suitcases.
So you are Butler for Sanetta as well. It's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
and Sanetta called you the B word. You did not object. You don't have any backbone, Reggie.
You know.
Microphone check, 1, 2. ¿Cómo sea? Hotep Senu Hena Senut Iti Ren Isha Kandugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. Microphone working. Title of this live stream is Shape-Shifting Humans and Alien Abduction. I'm going to listen today. I want to hear what you heard and what you've seen. There's some people who don't live on planet Earth full time. They deal with many things, astral projection, the astral project. They live on Mars, they live on the moon for a quarter of our lifetime, and they are with us on this planet Earth, but not all the time. And I'm willing to learn and listen. I'm in that mood today. I've shared the link for whoever would like to get on the panel, but you can use the chat. The chat is open to everybody right now. Let me know what's up. Now, I'm still in shock what I've heard today. Now, before I go to the chat, check this out here.
Again, brother, please. If we're going to concert.
I heard what Tahuti said. I've seen Malachi in 3 different sizes. He went from 5'7", and he went to the size of about an 8-year-old child, and he was playing with the children. And I've seen him as taller than me. I've seen that with my eyes.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on. So what God did he invoke to help him do that?
I'm 6'5" now. I used to be 6'2", I'm 6'5" now.
So you see him change sizes. Height ranges from like what, 4.5 feet to 6.5.
Yeah, not just change size, but the whole body structure of like a child, like an 8-year-old child, and he was playing with the children as their size. He was their size, and he was playing with them as their size. I saw that.
Crum TV.
And just for the record, I'm sure many of you heard those claims that were made repeatedly, but here's an example.
I got abducted before by extraterrestrials. What? Do you believe that? Look me in my eyes.
What the fuck? No, absolutely fucking not. You're still here on the internet raising hell. No.
You tell me I'm lying.
You're lying.
That's the problem. I'm aware of something you're not. We're gonna see though.
What's up with your tongue? Why you always on your tongue like this?
I don't know, part of my personality. I like to flick my tongue out. Part of my
My brother was abducted by aliens. I'm not young Pharaoh. I'm his twin brother. My brother was abducted by aliens, and he explained it all.
I told you the story like 5 times already.
Okay, I haven't heard this particular story. I'm sure my viewers haven't heard it.
Right now.
Okay, tell me.
I was on a table, and my body was on the table.
Okay.
And I was on a ship, and it was all metal, like a spoon. And I was looking down on my body, and my body was like chest down. I was looking at the back of my head, and there was some beings operating on my 33rd vertebrae. And it felt
my
like
brother was abducted by aliens, and he's explaining.
And they kept going like that with my I don't know what it was. Don't have me get the line, but it was right here, and it was I could look all around me, but I couldn't look to the right. It was a being right here to the right, but it didn't look like me or you. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was whatever it was a masculine being, and it was talking to me telepathically, and it told me it was the captain of the ship. This is a true ass story. And
see, y'all think that my brother's crazy, but no, he was abducted as a kid.
Like it wouldn't.
And he explaining it.
When I asked specific questions like "Where you from?" it didn't answer. And I asked him like, "What you doing?" What are you doing to my body? And it was like, "We fixing you." And the being asked me for my permission. I gave him my permission, and then it kept touching. It kept going like this with my spine, and I kept feeling my pain increase. And I remember I was just gritting my teeth like, Argh! And it was. They say they were strengthening my nervous system so that I could channel. And I believe that because I do channel. But it was clicking me like this, and I remember the pain was increasing, and the being kept communicating with me like, "Are you okay? Can we keep going?" I kept saying, "Yeah, I could take it. I could take it. I could take it." And I was trying to be tough and take the pain. And I remember the pain got so excruciating, I just came back to my body, and they brought me back.
Do you believe that maybe you probably
Hell no, that wasn't.
had a hallucination due to all the books you were overloading your mind? All right, Wells, I am so sorry
See,
to
everybody-
interrupt this exclusive program.
everybody
But
sit
if you want
there-
to see the extended version
and laugh at my brother, Young Pharaoh. Y'all sit back and laugh at him.
And there's one more person. It is Luis Farrakhan. Let's listen up.
So in calling this press conference, I'm calling you because of the serious nature of the announcement that I'm about to make. An announcement on which hangs the future of this nation, its leaders, and the people of America. This is not the usual press conference, though I realize that you may only be able to use a very small portion of what I say if you choose to use it at all. However, I would hope that you record everything that I say, that it may bear a record either for or against you and me. It is written in the book of Ezekiel, when I say unto the wicked, you shall surely die, and you give him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at your hand. But if you warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but you have delivered your soul. It is in this spirit that I make this announcement. In a tiny town in Mexico called Tepoztlan, there's a mountain on top of which is the ruins of a temple dedicated to Quetzalcoatl, the Christ figure of Central and South America. A mountain which I've climbed several times. However, on the night of September the 17th, 1985, I was carried up on that mountain in a vision with a few friends of mine. As we reached the top of the mountain, a wheel, or what you call an unidentified flying object, appeared at the side of the mountain, and I was called from the wheel to come up into the wheel. 3 metal legs appeared from the wheel, giving me the impression that it was going to land, but it never came over the mountain. Being somewhat afraid, I called to the members of my party to come with me, but a voice from the wheel spoke, saying, "Not them, just you." I was told to relax, and a beam of light came from the wheel, and I was carried up on this beam of light into the wheel. I sat next to the pilot. However, I could not see him. I could only feel his presence. As the wheel lifted off from the side of the mountain, moving at a terrific speed, I knew I was being transported to the mother wheel, or the mother plane, which is a human-built planet a half a mile by a half a mile, which the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us of for over 60 years. The pilot, knowing that I was fearful of seeing this great mechanical object in the sky, maneuvered his craft in such a way that I would not see the mother plane, and then backed quickly into it and docked in a tunnel. I was escorted by the pilot to a door and admitted into a room. I shall not bother you with a description of the room, but suffice it to say that at the center of the ceiling was a speaker, and through this speaker, I heard the voice of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speaking to me as clearly as you hear my voice this morning. He spoke in short, cryptic sentences, and as he spoke, a scroll full of cursive writing rolled down in front of my eyes, but it was a projection of what was being written in my mind. As I attempted to read the cursive writing, which was in English, the scroll disappeared and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad began to speak to me again. He said, and I quote, President Reagan has met with the Joint Chiefs of Staff to plan a war. I want you to hold a press conference in Washington, D.C., and announce their plan and say to the world that you got the info.
Get the picture. I can see Brother Ching Ching. Let me check if it's really him. What's up, Ching Ching? Is that you, brother?
Hey, what's up, Shaka? What's up with you?
Oh, brother, man. I'm fine.
Yeah.
How about yourself, brother?
I don't know why my picture don't never show up. Something going on. I
That's
see
so
this.
good.
I see what's been going on the past couple of days. Shaka, they've been coming for us.
Yeah, they're giving us shout outs and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see that young Pharaoh over there on Son? That was pathetic, man.
I didn't watch it, but
Yo told Jabari and Son that a SMD told them
yeah.
they niggas. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, somebody sent that to me on the email, and I just shared it in my timeline. But did you see Ching Ching? Did you see the brother Tahuti saying that
Yes.
he's so
Another
Malachi
weirdo,
York?
Shaka.
Oh my goodness.
It's shocking. It's when you digging in this rabbit hole, and I like the other dude that you got on here because he know the information too. I told you, remember I was telling you how Queen of Four and all of them is in this, Shaka. It's a sex cult like with Tahuti and all them. Dr. York. It runs so deep in that New York sector with all them cults that was up there in the 90s, Shaka. See, but back in the 90s, you know, people was jumping into it because they thought it was a thing to do. They thought it was slick, you feel me? But the information, Shaka, once you dissect it, it will hurt your stomach, brother. It's talking about kids. It's talking about women. They talking about semen and all these nasty stuff, man. And it's sad, bro. It's like once you start, I had to stop looking into it because it was making me sick. I was like, bro, these people are really crazy. And it's like you digging up the right path and they don't like it. Like the dude Tahuti is a weirdo. You see him sitting up there yesterday with a snake crawling around his unk. He want people to see these niggas is attention seekers, Shaka. They wanna be so smart and want to know everything and don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, don't have no doubt in nothing they say, but at the same time, these peoples are looking weird, man. And it's that whole community, Shaka. That whole community over there is dealing with sex cults. They dealing with, like you said, the children. They dealing with false information. They want you to think out of your mind. Like they said that he said he seen Dr. York tall, short, medium, and small. Like what in the world, Shaka? That's why I was telling you, Shaka. I come over here to mess with you because I know you're a good dude. I can't get into that information stuff, Shaka, because it'll drive you crazy. And I don't got time for it because these people read this stuff, man, and they losing their mind. And then they come to the internet with it. And these crazy people on the internet, they will listen to this stuff, but they won't listen to nothing you say that's they saying out their mouth. Like you said, you didn't say it. They saying it out their own mouth, this crazy mess, man. You got people in the chat talking about, I love Tahuti for that. That guy just like, you love a guy that you said he seen with his eyes strength get taller. And I said, brother, I'm done. I just don't know what to say for them no more. All you can do, Shaka, is just make your content off these clowns because it's a clown show. It really is. I know you into your information, what you do. Now I can understand you when you talk, but these dudes, yo, they be like, it's like, what happened to these people, man? Is they hypnotized by something, or is these really the weirdos of the world? Like, I don't understand it. And Sonetta pushes it. he pushes it and pushes it because he get a thrill off of it. And he, like young Farrell, lost his mind off the information. He was over there talking some crazy mess. He is gone. Like somebody need to, like, instead of them over there trying to have a debate shot, they need to send somebody to help the guy. You feel me?
Oh man, I didn't even listen to it, but I heard him say some things that were weird. But I mean, he said he was abducted by aliens and all that.
Yes.
I mean, but that one, I must admit, man, that one from Tahuti, I found out about it this morning. Right now it's like 10 p.m. But
yeah, that dude is he weird.
He really like kind of went over the top with it. That's why I put extra pseudo. You know what I'm saying? And I want to know what's up with the people, man. I want to hear from the people because when I read the comments, some people were saying, yeah, it's true. Yeah, dude was levitating. And I'm like, all right, okay, let's deal with this, man. I want to know about this X-Files stuff, man. How long does it take for him to have his normal size and then grow taller for a few inches? I want to know. Does it take a few seconds or a few minutes or a few hours? And how long did it take him, and I'm talking about Malachi York, to shapeshift into the size of an 8-year-old? I want to know.
It's sad, yo. It's really sad, man. It's like I'd rather be around a bunch of gangsters and killers. At least I know what they do. I know what their intent is. These niggas, they is like the weirdest dudes of the weirdos, man. It's like I never seen so many weirdos in my life. And everybody want to be smart. Everybody want to talk this, want to be doing that. Come on, bro. If that's the case, we wouldn't be in the position they's claiming black people win. Like we would be winning and leading the race. We wouldn't be keep saying this. You feel me, Shaka? We wouldn't keep making up all these excuses if all these people were so smart and they were so business savvy and they know this. Like, come on, man. It's time to cut the ball out, man. And your boy Son Nettie, he know he feeling the heat over there, like you said, with all them subscribers. That and that chat don't move like that for him to be having 1,000 people in that chat. When you got 1,000 people watching, your chat is moving unlimited. Like it goes fast. Like all them people not chatting. Like you said, he over there buying bots, him and Garfield. He bring on anybody because guess what he gonna do? I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's their information. I just got a platform. I just provide the platform for it. Like these dudes know how to come in with they know how to deflect off of something you gonna say quick. They ain't gonna never admit to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like beating down the wall that ain't going nowhere, man. Because this shit it's sad for real. It's like I hope the young kids is not watching this mess, man, because that's a sick environment, Shock, over there, man. It really is. They need a doctor or something over there. Like all them dudes is lost their rabbit mind, Shock. Like I like the panel you played the other day. When I had my man on there from Fopi, what was his name?
Fopi?
Yeah, when all us was on the panel with Uncle Suge, and he was the main one, like, why y'all keep going back over there with Son Netta?
Oh, Kunal. Well, but that dude is weird. That dude is weird. He said himself that Son Netta cursed his mother, said he's back over there.
Right, and he back over there, and that's the dude I talked to him online. He from DC, and I thought he at least stood on something. And I said, "Oh man, he another one just like these dudes." I said, "This it's sad, bro. It's really sad, man."
He's telling Fossil, man, you said you won't go back over there. You know what I'm saying? And he's explaining that from out of the blue, Scam Cheddar called him and said, "F your mother." He said, "F his wife."
Mm-hmm.
Dude is still over there, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know how to call it. It's not even capping at this point. It's like, it's something else out of desperation, like, who wants to be a star or whatever, this kind of American Idol type of mentality, man.
Yeah.
But, dang. I'm shocked, man.
Yeah.
But, I want to hear from you, brother and sister, because I feel like I've been missing on some things, man. Like I read the comments and the people like, yeah, that's what's up, man. The dude is a divine being. Even somebody said, well, that's why the government don't let him out.
The government don't let him out because he got convicted of 137 child molesting charges. Idiots. What is wrong with these people, Shaka? These people want you to think something, then they switch it up, Shaka. Oh, y'all running to the white man for the no. We running because you're supposed to obey the law. You know what to do as a man and what not to do. We all know what's going on. You obey laws, you follow laws out here. That's the world we live in. They'll switch it up on you. Oh, y'all run to the white. No, sometimes you need the white man to clean y'all asses up because y'all motherfuckers out here doing so much dirt. Then when the white man come, y'all play on black people emotions to the white man and act like it's something bad. No. God damn it, y'all asses out here touching kids, talking about. Then they had them classes, Shaka, like Brother Polite was doing them too with the one dude where they was moving their hands over women bodies, had them laying on tables, and women was shaking, acting like they having orgasm. Man, it's sick, bro.
Yeah, I remember that guy. Forgot his name. He has like an Indian name. A guy allegedly giving orgasm without touching a woman. What was his name?
I forgot his name.
It's just a funny, like Indian type of name, like Shavana, whatever. It is in Australia, I think. Australia, and then it's like sex cult. Is it Shavani, something like that? No, it's not him. If somebody knows his name, please put it in the chat. But yeah, man, that's like and oh, Young Hero was there. Young Hero, what's up, brother?
Nigga, what's up, Young Hero?
What's good, man?
Son Netta, when somebody asked him, they was in the chat like Ching Ching really hates you, don't like you. He said, no, Ching Ching don't like me. He just hating because of the debates and what I say about Polite. I'm like, this nigga know how to switch something up quick, nigga. I don't like you, nigga. I don't like you, bro. I don't play with you, bro. I don't be on your platform trying to be over there. I told you that's how he was trying to set me up, Shaka. Come on over, Ching Ching. I got 25. Nigga, I don't care if you had 10 million people. I don't care if you had Jay-Z over there, nigga. I stand on morals and principle. I'm not coming on your platform, bro.
Yeah,
I don't involve with you type people like that.
I thought you had some new news or something for us, man. Shaka, you talking about these idiots, man?
I was shocked this morning, brother. Before I went to work, I mean, I didn't have work in the morning today. I only had in the afternoon. So I played the stuff, and I've been thinking about it all day. And I know we have to address it. I want to hear.
Yeah. I saw the clip earlier. I was like, man, this nigga crazy, man. What kind of bull? So how comes he transform yet and escape out of jail yet? What happened?
You know why, Young Heru. And Shaka played that video, the main good one, when him and Hassan was talking, and Son Netta was capping for Dr. York. He was up there taking up for him.
Yeah. He even asked the guy, if I rape a 9-year-old, would you think I'm a child molester? I'm like, what
I don't know where he was going with that, but Jabari, it's like, why are you dragging me in your conflict between you and Saul? Like, it's not my family member that York molested. It's not my family member that was molested by, the Hebrew dude or to Zayak's camp, and apparently it's to Zayak's cousin, according to Chris Snakes. So, man, hold on, we have Cuban crisis. Oh, hold on, we have a new caller. Hold that thought, please, Young Hero. Greetings, Cuban crisis. Feel free to speak.
Peace. How y'all doing?
Oh, chilling, man.
Good. Yeah, I was type of job I have. I do armed security. I wasn't able to get on camera last night. So, in regards to what is the answer as to why is Dr. Pork still in prison, but he's from the 19th galaxy, and he was born with 76 trillion years of information, speaking 19 or 18 different languages. So I remember after his incarceration, because I would go to Nuwapian classes back in the 90s. And my brother used to be, he's not my biological brother, but he was in the Ansar Law Code. So at this time, I was very aware of Dr. Pork, but I wanted to hear what they taught versus people that were once members So I mean, I went very faithfully to West Philadelphia, to Brooklyn, and even one time to Mount Vernon to, their classes. Like I met York's brother, who started his own group. I met him one time, and I remember specifically, he said in that class, he said, "Yeah, me and my brother's from Boston." And I'm like, and I remember him saying that, but at the time, this was still, York was from the Sudan, and then he was from Planet Risk. So there was not yet this thing of he's from Ghana and he's a Liberian diplomat. So I remember him saying that. But their answer is, well, there's two answers. One, that being York is from another planet and he is the chosen God by the gods appointed to the planet Earth. That the Illuminati put a force field over ADX Supermax prison, which made it where he was unable to get out, right? So then you hear the stories about he's in his cell and he's converting people in prison and he's doing all this type of stuff, right? So then he gets like
Hold on, if you don't mind. Did he actually say that they put some magnetic field?
Not him.
Okay. It's the followers said. Okay, I get it. The
next response is that, now this one's interesting. So you would have to get, when you see his 360 questions asked, a Sunni Muslim, a Christian, and a Hebrew Israelite series, like there's about 3 or 4 different parts to those series. So when you read the 360 questions asked, a Christian book, he presents a very logical question. And the question is that basically, if Jesus knew that his mission was to come to earth to die for our sins, why does he say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me on the cross or the stake? And why didn't he free himself? And so his question is like, what kind of God is that? So they began.
Before you continue, I know that Christians say that at that time he was charged with the sins of humanity. And that's why God, like, move his face away from him, for lack of a better word. But feel free to
this is just craziness, right?
Yeah, that's what Christians
Stupid.
say.
It have another one calling himself Jesus, Michael or whatever, and he talking about he the savior too. These people, like this shit is nonsense.
You know what it is, Young Hebrew, is a whole generation through that 90s generation without that internet that was listening to all that Dr. Pork information, all that pseudo information. This what we dealing with, the leftover from that, and they bringing it to the internet now and switching it up. That's what Young Pharaoh do. That's what Polite was doing. That's what some of these, and it's a bunch. You know what I noticed too? It's a bunch of ex-New Wapians on the internet in that conscious community. It's a lot of them, and they is defending. Man, they will kill you for that. For Dr. York saying like he this and he did that. These people really believe that, brother. They really is gone with this persuasion information, and it's gonna hurt people on the internet because people really believe in this out of the world mess. Like when I tell a person you go outside and live in reality, driving up and down the street every day, you don't hear people talking like this. You don't see people thinking. I told you I had a brother, not my actual brother, but a dude from over East Baltimore, Anthony Jones. He in the ADX. He been in there since '95. And he said that motherfucker so tight, you fought, they know what type of fart you let out. You feel me? They dissect everything in there. You ain't going nowhere, boy, and you ain't doing nothing in there. You got to read the mail off a screen that they roll to your cell. Like that shit is, that's total, like they be having people going crazy in there. Like Dr. York, lucky that ain't nobody get to him in there because a lot of dudes was trying to get to him, but they put him in this special housing unit where he couldn't get touched.
So they given the analogy, the Christian analogy of Jesus, basically that's what's the answer that's given, is that he knew he had to come here to teach and disseminate information and then ultimately be persecuted. And so this is why he's sitting in prison. those are the two reasons. Those are the two reasons I've heard. Now, as far as his shape shifting ability, you know, Chuck Morgan is somebody that I've been speaking to for a number of years. So according to what he's told me, no, I'm not down with Dr. Pork. Absolutely not to Texas Bama. No. So according to what Chuck Morgan has said, I've heard other people say he had platform shoes on. So when he would come out and speak, he was basically standing still. He wasn't moving around. He wasn't, because if you watch his videos, you'll see videos where he walks around, he's moving his hands, he's into what he's talking about, but he would stand in place. Platform shoes. Now, there's even the book to get, which is the only book that I really want from them, is a book called The Man of Miracle, This Day and Time. And it talks about all these things he could do. So basically, that book, looking at it, would be a good argument to present to the Porkians, the sympathizers, about why isn't he doing this based on he could do this. So there was even a thing of, even when my brother was in it, that York was making the claim that he could make ash appear from his hand, right? Now that's actually a trick that's done with yogis. And there was a popular yogi that would do this thing where he would make this ash appear like this and come out the hand. So, I mean, he just basically took things from different cultures, different ideologies, different religions. He incorporated it. I mean, that's all he really did.
Yeah, just like all of them.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's like all these individuals you see today are either, like you said, ex-members, and there's certain things that they still hold on to that he talked, and they kind of just did their thing with it. And then you got people like young Pharaoh, who makes the claim, "Oh, I never read a Dr. York book in my life," you know, this, that, and the third. But it's like that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
And he's
hanging out with Polite and all of them as well. So that's probably
yeah. I mean, that was when I used to come at Polite, you know, in the mid 2000s. You know, that was my thing. It was that if you go back and you watch a video where he's talking to Imam Bashir and he's talking about, does Allah have a womb? That is straight out of a Dr. Pork book, that Dr. Pork began to teach that Allah had a womb and that Allah was this woman. And then it gets into the whole thing about woman as goddess, and that, you know, woman can birth life without a man, you know, or the fact that, like, right here, you know, your wings, like, you know, you see the bodybuilders got the wings, that once upon a time we could fly, and that there was this particular thing that would move from our body. Like, there's an assortment of things. And I mean, he definitely took from Zachariah Stitch, and he definitely took things from Elijah Muhammad. I mean, he taught that Master Farah Muhammad was from Venus. Yaqub was a two-brain scientist. He didn't, because the big-headed scientist thing was symbolic of ego. It wasn't that he literally had this big head. So York began to teach he had two brains. He was
yeah, take it out of context. Yeah.
So there's just all these. I mean, this is a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, like,
the worst part is have people that follow it. That's the worst thing about it. I just don't get it. And Young Pharaoh was out there calling Jabari and nobody and cussing him out and everything last night, you know, and all of them, they just look like a bunch of characters, man. If you ask me, one person.
Hey, Shaka, that dude, the dude Sabir Bay, he live now. Yo, go over in his chat and print something. Tell him you want to jump on, challenge his information. See what he say.
Okay. Let me see this. Hold on.
Yeah, let's get a laugh real quick. Watch what he say. He another one of them weirdos.
I caught some of the Young Pharaoh video last night. I can be honest with you, I have no idea what's going on in the conscious community.
Yeah, they all confused.
I've been out of touch with who's debating who, what's going. Like, I just know, like, I don't even watch it no more. I don't engage in it. I really could care less, and so I don't know. I mean, the Porkians call themselves Sabians now, and the whole Sabian thing is, that the Quran mentions the Sabians.
Hold on, please keep in crisis. Please hold that thought. I wanna holler at Sabir Bay. So I'm
You
gonna
said
have to.
Sabir Bay?
Yeah, Sabir Bay.
Oh,
Because this Moorish stuff, man,
oh,
it's a
You
hoax
gonna
for
try and
real.
jump on his panel?
It's a hoax for real. So
yeah, Sabir
I'm
Bay
He
gonna.
swear he swear he the smartest dude in the world.
Yeah, me
Oh
and
wow.
Sabir Bay don't get along.
Hold on. So let me do this. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just give you a backdrop real quick about Sabir Bay. So I've met Sabir
Well,
Bay.
hold on. Let's because he has shared the link, so I really try to get there, and see
Yeah,
if
jump
I
on
can
that
holler.
shot. It's
Yeah.
got to laugh.
Yeah.
And see, he gonna give you more respect because you
But
won't.
please put your mics on mute,
All right.
brothers. Yes. Actually, as a matter of fact, hold on. Let me just do this. Okay, should be okay. All right. 1 2 1 2. I'm chilling, calling from France, Marseille. Okay, south of France. I want to tell you, just so that there's no funny business. I was live streaming, and I was told that you are live, and I saw that you have the link. So I'm streaming on my channel as well. Just want to let you know out of respect. Yeah. Toulouse. Okay. You like the South? The Alps, yes, the mountains. Okay. Oh,
You can't hear him, Shaka.
okay. Well, I'm in the Paris outskirts, so I'm way up north. Yeah, it's better. The weather is better. Mhm. Yeah, Algeria, I think. I think it was. Yeah. Yeah, well, I want to keep it real with you. I'm Shakan Kemet. My channel is my Afro. I always said this Afro style here. I've been online for like 19 years, and I'm not in agreement with the claims of the Moors. I had a discussion with Lord Abba. You may have heard of him. And for years, I've been asking people. I see you shaking your head, like, but of course. Yeah, I'll wait. On the left, Chic Way L. Yeah. Um, oh, with the hat. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 Okay, bro. Yeah, I know what it is. I have a 3-year-old daughter, you know, so. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Oh, no problem. No problem. I know what it's like, you know. Oh, but you know what? I think my audio is not playing. Can I just come back? Yeah, I mean, we don't hear you. So yeah, let me just do that, please. I'm gonna come right back. So here and then yeah. Oh no, it's not. No, okay, I know how to do it. How to do it here. So try
Yeah.
to make sure. Well, we couldn't hear the brother. So if I do that,
Yeah, love
oh, it's
my
strange.
friend. Love my friend, right? That dude wicked. He was ready. He know Shaka. He gonna talk to Shaka when Shaka say where he from, and then he gonna try to say, "Oh, I've been here, Shaka. I took a picture with all he do is
Well,
uses his old celebrities and then ask for cash apps."
you know what? Here it is. Like, just go there, people, and I'm gonna chop it up with him over there, and then I'll be right back with y'all. Okay? So I've shared the link here, and yeah, let's do this. All right. So I meet you there. I've shared the link in the chat. So I'm gonna do this.
So you like the masseuse and shade like your soul like a pasta noose. Don't be calling for a truce while I'm cooking your goose. Got to do so when these chickens come home to boost. Man, I'm mobile like Goose, why they failing? So I don't put them down under like these dudes was Australian. Rappers couldn't see me in the 80s or the 90s. 30 years later, they want to act like they find me. Now they want to find me in a new millennium. But I'm a cannibal. I'll breakfast, lunch, and dinner them. Let them drums rip. Woo! Yeah, turn my voice up a little bit. I don't deal with silly shit. I am not illiterate. Gun clapper, street rapper. This is what you dealing with. Boom, back, you rap, only the real feeling it. You I'm revealing it. Beat fine dealing with. Others put their credit to the beat and make a meal of it. I'm the quiet type banana clip. I'm concealing it. Kick a point with the banana and start feeling it. Hit the captain in America. No proper shielding it. They cool back with the feeling. I'm real with it. Flow so sick, I should be healing it. But instead I'm on the German waterfall, feeling it. You millionaire. Rich with the skill in the club, people I drill them there. Yeah, savage, hand them out. No silverware, true legend, no jewels, black gorilla wear. Yeah, where the skills at? I'm a drill rat. Too many rappers claiming OG and still whack. They sleeping, and you can see how they act. Red pill, blue pill, I get the red pill back. So I know what they mumble about me, but it don't penetrate. Young rappers wanna be large and this weapons play. I'm a legend, the fucking weapons is 88. Blast off the top of your dome, let it venerate. Skills I won't demonstrate, lyrical rapper heavyweight. You ain't never heard of this teaching, your bitches hella lame. You better wait, KRS is never fake. That rap shit was solid, the culture I'll never make. That boom back, raw speak, I will generate. I stay ahead, like you 8 o'clock, I'm 10 to 8. I got things to make with the bass kicking. These raps, these a vision for beats for stage chicken. My rhyme style finger licking, keep mixing, no quitting. No need for a vacation, you tripping. Top ticket, I'ma spit this right, like handcuffs. You gotta see this shit is tight.
Multitasking. That was fast, wasn't it? Boy, wipe that butt clean, boy. This is new KRS-One joint, y'all.
Let me get it. Yo, so I'm ready, I'm about to begin. You've been living without, but try living within. You heard these others speak.
You know who Yasin Bey is, right? You know who Yasin Bey is, right? Okay. Yeah. Listen up.
I am not them, they talk paper, but here's what I do with the pen. Sword in the air,
I don't fear anybody.
We was criminal minded when
They was on the potty.
Been spiritual minded, the devil can't stop me. Been political minded, no, they can't lock me. This is an original, not a copy. Me and the mic, we go together like salt fish with hockey. Smash up any shit, any club, any party. Same shoes, same views, black tea and Nazi. You could be stolen, you still can't rock me. You could be good and you still can't knock me. Prophecy fulfilled and they still want to mock me. Behold, it's obvious the universe got me. Still, that's my credential. When my words get sent to your mental, it turns sentimental. No, I will not be gentle. Most rappers are followers. The only thing they led was a pencil. Money won't prevent you when I A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, U. I'm that bullshit, hip hop, core, core shit, that DJ and MC and tagging, breaking on the floor shit. Street lyric, you heard it, I never lost it.
Like Yasin Bey, I'm bringing you more shit. One more time.
I'm that bullshit, hip hop, core shit, that DJ and MC and tagging, breaking on the floor shit. Street lyric, you heard it, I never lost it. Like Yasin Bey, I'm bringing you more shit. Double metaphors is how to talk it.
Yo, so I had to change my son diaper, but he said, like Yasin Bey, I'm bringing you more shit. And it's funny because I had to call Mos Def and tell him that because he didn't even know that was in the song. He's over there in Spain. So what's up, brother? So I was going to talk about this black dollar thing, but anyway, I'm gonna show you how you can switch up real fast. Bear with me, son. Let daddy do what he got to do, okay? Now, what was you saying about Lord Abba? I've known him I don't know him. What do you do with your bed, man? Really? Go ahead. I can hear you. Oh. Okay, so I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but what you can do, there is many rulers. I did a video probably a week ago when I was home, and I gave a name of rulers. I gave a lot of names of rulers, and people make it seem like, again, this whole black thing. There was no black people to the 1500s. We keep saying black. If I'm in France, I'm not going to They don't. What is the word for black in France? Okay, so they say that to people over there, or say moros or moriscos or okay, so you follow me? So if you read books, and like I said, I know the mindset of Lord Abba and where he's coming from. They're coming from a Muslim point of view. Hold on one second, or Muslim point of view. Okay, give me 1 second, brother. Give me 1 second. So Abba, and I had that issue with them too. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. I'm gonna be 100 with you. So I took that picture because when people say things, and I do this a lot. Give me 1 second. I do that a lot, right? He don't like me, but what I did, I took the picture, right, with him. Brother, don't ever think, why are you running, Ryan? What do you think I'm running? Do it sound like I'm running from somewhere, my brother? Or I'm explaining? Okay. Thank you very much, brother. I thank you, because he can come on here too. Ryan can come on here. But this is the thing. They definitely do that, brother. The Twitter fingers is a mother. We can have, I told you, we can have this discussion everywhere. So this is the part about Lord Abba. I had that issue with him. I'm not a Moorish Science Temple Moor. And this is how all this debate stuff got started back then, because they were disrespecting Noble Drew Ali. I'm not part of a Moorish Science Temple. I'm a Moor, period, without no doubt. Lord Abba did not travel where I traveled at when I was going to the Islamic countries and going to the countries and try to find out to put actually what J.A. Rogers did. Because if you read his book, he give you the names, he give you the variations, he give you the leaders, he give you all of these people who was running things, right? So as I'm sitting here, I'm literally, bro, I'm going to come back over to Tangiers. This is me. This is what I do when I travel. So in these particular books, it will break down a lot of things in here and the connections of who the leaders were. These are things that was hidden out of history from you and I. So I'm not blaming you, nor am I blaming myself. We have to blame the black leaders and the black scholars. Because if anyone have ever read J.A. Rogers' book, I don't know if you're familiar with him, 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro. Right. Okay, so you must read it, brother. And I'm going to say to you, read it, because what is happening at this moment, you have guys like Henry Louis Gates that's taken his work now. If you see two different versions of that book, Henry Louis Gates is getting paid by this government or this institutions here. So they're going to take certain things out of the book. But when you read J.A. Rogers' book, he's going to tell you what we call Ethiopians and Moors before the 1500s. Black is a modern day term, and it's not ancient. That's not an ancient term. It's a modern day English term. That's what it is. It's not. Yeah, but it's not. It's not. Go. No, I was in Carthage. Listen, let me help you out. When I was in Carthage, I stayed in Carthage for like, yeah, I was in Tunis for the record, y'all. Y'all know what Tunisia is. But I stayed there for like maybe 3 weeks, probably 4 weeks, and I'm going to go back there. I went to where Hannibal was at, where he would literally, I don't know if you saw my videos, if you're familiar, where he got on the boats at. And as I'm walking through, it was raining that day. I'll never forget it was raining. And as I'm going there, I'm walking down to where the water. So the guard was at the door, because there's a guard that's at the door. He jumps out. I swear to God, this is what he did. He jumps out the booth and started doing like this. And he was talking about the fez I had on, because I had my fez on. And then we started talking about Hannibal. And he started telling me what they have done to the pictures of them. If you don't go there physically firsthand, you would never know. Like if you Google somebody now online, you will see them a lighter version, because this is the same thing with Cleopatra. It's the lighter version. That's what they're going to do. They're going to paint them in an image. No, there was no white, no black back then. There was no term called. No, well, that's still out. We hear that, right? But how do you know? Really? Did you go there? Let me help you out. Bear with me. I'm not knocking you, but I'm going to understand. Again, we're getting caught up in this color thing. Everybody comes from us regardless. Are you following me? Everyone comes and extends from us. We create everyone. So even in Africa, when I just explained the other day about albinos, if albinos are in Africa and they come from you, who are you? Who are they? They're your children, and you put your children back in check. You don't let your children run amok. You put them back in check. So again, yeah, they can be that, But the first time I heard about her being even the Greek part. So what was it before Greek? Because as far as what I've studied, those people that was in Egypt was us. So we're still getting caught up in this colored thing, because back then there was no white, there was no black. All of those terminologies are new terminologies, all of them. And again, I can't blame us, brother. I have to blame our scholars that is putting this information out here. Those are the ones. Sure. They wasn't identifying people like that. They were not identifying the people like that. They did not identify people like that. Not at all, brother. Was he melanated? He could have. Oh shoot! That don't have melanin has melanin. What is melanin? Okay, so all of those people that you're saying that do not have melanin has melanin. Everybody has melanin. If people understand, okay, so again, nobody has black skin. That's the key. This is black. Your skin is not black, brother, and this is not cement. I want you to understand this. And it was funny because I was talking to my elder today, brother Hanif, and we was getting into something, and he said something about, because I was saying something about the black dollar, and he said, "Well, don't get it." Who? He's not like this. I saw that boy. I know his sister too. Tyrese don't look like this. Okay, no, brother. Listen, you keep saying it's different shades. So let's call him brown skin, right? Or a dark olive hue. You follow me? So again, you're not black. I'm not black. I got all black on. Let's use logic and common sense. This skin is not black. My son is not black. This is not black. Are you following me? Some people, okay, though. So if that be the case, then right? If that be the case, could everybody be black then? Well, I'm asking you, can everybody be black then? No. Okay. So, okay. So, yeah. So he has melanin though. Hold on. He do have melanin. I don't know. Listen, you go into Alexander, we talking about here, right? You keep back to that. Okay. Well, if you're in Africa, brother, this is the difference. Somebody said, where are we going with this? I don't even know. That's him. I'm just showing y'all something. That's him. So I know what they're being taught. So that's why I said bring their scholars to me. This is the key. If you're in Africa, you're African. Period. Period. You, brother, we're not making it complicated. It's simple. Are you hearing what I just said to you? Did you hear what I just said? If you're born in Africa, right? You're African, right? Listen, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about us. You keep going back to Alexander the Great. You asked me about Moors. Which one are we talking about? Because you're going back to, well, I said, but Cleopatra was where's Africa? How big is Africa? Where was she born at? You follow me? That's all I'm saying. If I sit up here and tell you, right, and most people don't know this, and it was funny because I had a conversation with an Ethiopian lady the other day, and she was from Eritrea. And we was just talking. She said, you look Eritrean, you look Ethiopian. I said, I know, because we're all Ethiopians. You follow me? And I said that Eritrea means Red Sea. That's part of Yemen too. You just cross that water. It's still Africa. It's not the Middle East. It's still part of Africa, because when you understand geography, and these are the things that we're not discussing with our people. Geography. If you're in Africa, Spain was Africa. Portugal was Africa. All of these places was part of Africa. But see, when they came in, Europeans, and things are being translated through your country, They're being translated. So when you understand the Arabic and how stuff was getting translated in France, and then from France it comes over to English. The one thing that we don't study is language and etymology. That is the one thing that we don't study and we need to study. And it was crazy when the first time I went to Spain, the dude told me this. He said things, and it was funny because I was in the store talking to him in Spanish, and we talked about the Moors. And he said, yeah, all this was part of Africa. So he said, well, by the time stuff to get to y'all in the United States, it get lost in translation. I said, they made a movie like that, Lost in Translation. So I would never, ever teach you. And I think it was John Henry Clark said this. He said, people in power will never teach the powerless how to take power from them. To do that, that would be insane. I never forget when John Henry Clark said that. So why would I teach you anything about taking power from you? And when you take the power from them, knowing exactly who you are, that's what they get afraid of. I stayed in France, and I'll do another live when I come to France just to show you how crazy this is. You keep saying black. You never listen, but listen, I never said black. Listen, and then this is I understand, but I have to. No, it's not Moorish people. If you want to say she's from African descent, I'm fine. Now, my thing, okay, so whatever she want to be, and I want to know which one are we talking about, because you know there's not one Cleopatra, brother. Which one? I mean, which one? I don't care about none of them, but I'm just asking you which. I'm asking you which one, because I don't care which one it is. Me personally, I don't get hung up on that because there's other things. I truly don't. So I'm now you saying we talking about the most. Okay. The most famous. So that's the one they talking about now in the movie or something like that. I mean, that's. I don't know. Maybe this. Maybe hold up. Maybe because they saying she's black, then, huh?
Jay Rogers said she was black.
Okay, so maybe this is what.
I said in the book, J.A. Rogers said Cleopatra was black. It's a form of.
J.A. Rogers did this. When you read J.A. Rogers' work, y'all have to understand the terminology on what he's trying to relate to. When he say black, he's relating to an adjective to describe something. Y'all know what an adjective is, right? An adjective is to describe something, right, brother? Y'all got that over there, right? Okay, so now if I say black or more, that means I'm giving you an adjective to go what? To the noun. So when J.A. Rogers was writing his book, you have to also understand J.A. Rogers was from the Caribbean. J.A. Rogers would get deported if he was to tell the truth. Most people, if you came to this country, brother, and you started talking, what do you think they would do to you? They would deport you. Period. No, they would definitely deport you if you do something, brother. As anybody that come to the United States and do something stupid or speak out. This is the thing. And even no. Brother, you don't live here, brother. Listen to me. You don't live here. You don't understand how slimy this government is. Okay. No, it's not an argument, but I'm telling you, you're not speaking up against certain things because you are a person that took allegiance to go along and get along. If you were here and you did something, I've known people from Haiti, from Jamaica, from the Trinidad, whatever, right, that have done things. Y'all know Sean, for instance. He got deported. So my point is, it's not about. I understand that, brother. Listen, brother. I got that. I'm just using him as an example. If you was to say certain things, Ivan Van who I met, right, and he couldn't say certain things in his book because he told me this in Camden, New Jersey. He couldn't say certain things in his books because he would be deported. If we understood that the only foreigner on this land in America is Europeans, if we stood up and said that. The Europeans are the only foreigners, and they're the ones that we're afraid of. Why? Because they would cut your electric off, cut your credit card off, cut all these things off and say, listen, you ain't got nothing. Then what are we going to do with each other? Start either killing each other, flacing each other. This is what's going to happen because our moral compass is not there, brother. And I'm talking about the moral compass, understanding what's going on and how I would never sell you out, even though you and I disagree with something. I will come to you and talk with you to make sense out of this. Albion? Yes, I do. You know why? I understand Albion and albinism. You can have people that have albinism. Albion, you know that the little spots on some of these Europeans? It's called melanin. Joe who? Biden? I don't know Joe Biden's background, brother. I'm gonna be real with you. I truly don't. Well, this is the thing, like I can't see him like that. You have to deal with nationality, brother. I don't look at people like that. I don't look at people as in colors. You follow me? None of us have the same background. You and I, him and on phone, we don't have the same background. I'm from Philadelphia, right?
He from Scranton, New Jersey.
Yes, he is. He could be. It depends on where he's from. He could be. I don't know where he's from.
Yes, he's a European. Yes.
Okay, so exactly. So this is the difference between me. Like I said, I don't even know which one you're referring to and
yes.
how.
Yes,
Okay.
they all were.
He could be.
They
Well,
all were.
hold up. He could be.
They practice. Yes, they. Yeah.
Okay. So my point is like, if she's still European, and this is the problem with most people who don't even know what European is. See, this is the problem that I have with a lot of conscious or woke people. If you took, and this is not pun and playing on words, if I literally show you a video right now in Ethiopia in 1961, how they was called Caucasians, how they was called Europeans, even though they dark skinned. It's a person on here right now. Look, she's from the UK. She said Joe Biden is Irish. What did I just show you the history of the Irish people? Didn't I just tell you who the original Irish people are and how they come from you? Brother, if I'm playing original, I'm making it plain for everybody else. And if you want to say black people, you can say black people. My point is, they still come from you. It's no buts or maybes about it.
That's an Afrocentric worldview.
Yeah.
It's not
so
E pluribus unum. E pluribus unum. It means out of many one.
Okay.
No, not you. Not you. I'm just saying the way that we view America now in the aspect of color and everything black is an Afrocentric worldview, and it's false.
That is so true. That's true. No, you won't. No, you. Ho. If you ain't got, brother, go watch my video when I was home. I got a whole list of the census joint and what they were doing, how they was going to do it. Brother, listen to what I just said to you. You're not hearing me. You're talking. I have a control joint directly from them and how they was going to set it up. It's going to be in my book. How they was going to set this thing up because they get money from it. This is the key, and I tell people this all the time. If you're not paying attention to what is happening here in the United States, I'm not going to say America, in the United States, because it's different. So right now, at this moment, if you're not paying attention, right, they are putting these things, transgender's going to be on it too. I don't know if y'all know that or not. It's going to be on it. So if that does not apply to me as black people, I'm not going to mark that. I create my box and put on there. When I travel the world, you know what? I showed my documents before. My document says American more. When you're going through customs, you can't just put anything on it. What would you put on there? I know you come through customs. When you're coming through customs, hold up. I'm going to ask you this question, and I want you to answer this. You know what I'm talking about since you said you came back and forth. If I show you my documents again, because I know you knew, you will see my document says nationality American more. Why am I doing that? Because I'm going to put every last one of them on notice. I got it on anybody who watched my YouTube. You saw me. I mean, my brother on here probably saw me show it 1,000 times before, but I show it. Hold up. Let me tell you something what it says on the passport. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I don't care who you are here, right? In America, from being Chinese, whatever, you're still going to have that passport. It's what you put on there. You don't hear me? So when you saw me do that, I'm letting them know internationally because I'm here in the United States. And it says this on the passport, United States of America. And I'm going to explain something else to you. When you, hold up, listen to, no, it's not my nationality. It's something, it's a tool that I'm using here. You're not hearing me. Everything is a tool. Okay. So when you're, brother, you ask me a question, I'm trying to clear up things for you. Okay, so you can understand me. I know I asked you what you put on yours. You ain't say nothing yet, but we're gonna move forward. What do you put on your when you coming through customs? When you have to fill, everybody fills this form out. You probably ain't mind. You probably put French on there, and you damn sure didn't put black on there. I bet you didn't. You probably put French. Am I lying? Yes, you did. Are you seriously? For real? You mean to tell if I show you and make you out of a liar, would you send me $1,000? I can show you from France to Portugal to whatever. When you're coming through customs, there's a form you have to fill out, brother. It's a form. And I show this form. Am I lying, brother? Oh, my point is, okay, it's still going on. Oh, it's still happening. But I'm okay. It's not the listen, brother. Let me see if I can educate you. I can put out my wallet. I think I still got one of them in my wallet. If I still got it. Give me 1 second.
What's
Brother, this is not even my conversation. This wasn't going to be the conversation. This is not about, you can set this up on your Zoom, but this is nothing going to be the conversation. You came on my feed to talk about this. I'm not, that's not me. This is for me, for you to understand what is going on. I don't know who you came across, but you can set up a Zoom on your class on your feed. But I was going into Black Dollar. That's where I was going in, but you brought it up. So I don't have to talk about it because that wasn't my conversation today. No, they were not white people. No, they were not. Brother, show me the facts that they would. Show me the facts. Don't go online and show me anything. Show me the. Listen, brother. Don't tell me anything. Show me. Don't go online and pull something off the book. No, don't go online with that. I don't want no online. Okay. Brother, what book? You can just name the book. Tell me what the book is. And I'm gonna. Come on, brother. I got a million of the golden age of the Morse. Are you serious with that? Go ahead. I'm explaining that. We're going to end this conversation because you ain't getting it yet. What's up, Latif? He's truly not getting it.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Oh, no. I'm not saying that you are. Because I got the golden age of the Moors. I got the golden trade of the Moors. I got the golden age of the Moors. I got, brother, I'm not home. If you go, brother, I'm in Atlanta. I'm not home in LA. I know you new to me.
Hey, bro. Hey, peace. Hey.
Okay, hold on. So he's going to show me something I already have. I have the book, brother. Didn't I just explain to y'all what Ivan Van Sertima just said? Didn't I just explain to y'all that they didn't use the word white and black back then? Did or I did not explain these things? Brother, let me, brother. He's not black, brother. That's the key, and he's not white. You still caught up in the caste system. No, I'm not. Listen, brother, I'm not rejecting anything. I'm not. I'm just telling you the facts that is nobody's black. You're not hearing, dude. Like, which one you talk about? I don't know. It look like fair skin. A lot of people though. I don't know.
What up, y'all? What up, Severe?
It's not in color. I'm just. Okay, so what up? So let me stop you. Let's stop that because you're fair skinned. I'm fair skinned, right? So if I sit next to my brother Noble on this particular feed, I don't look like him in person. We're two different complexions. Am I lying?
I had to come on here because this brother is running all around in circles. Where you, my brother? Where you from? What's your nationality, my brother? What's your nationality? What? My face is right there. The picture of my face is right there.
Yeah, no, this.
I'm not saying, I never said you wasn't knowledgeable or nothing like that. But what so far what I've been listening to is you're headstrong with the shade black, and what people of my daughter's fair skin. My daughter's lighter than me. You know what I'm saying? My question is this. Hold on. Put it like this. What is your you keep going to Cleopatra. I just want to ask one question. I just want
hold up, brother. Let me mute your mic. Respectfully. Okay. Let me say this to y'all. And I know Noble. And I know his passion. Okay. I want you to be respectful to the panel. That's how I am. Some people, and this is why some people don't respect a lot of Moors, because this is how they come. You have to teach people what it is. Just like I explained to him something simple about the complexions, about you and I and the book and how this is, that's how you respect and you teach people. You know, because some people would turn off from this information. They may not know because they have been taught these things by so-called Black scholars. And I can talk to all the Black scholars, and I understand this. I'm the one that traveled. That's why James Small said, you may be the only Moor that traveled the Moorish world. That's what he said. I'm going to these places, sacrificing myself. And this shit ain't safe when I was in the It's follow me? And anybody who truly travels know that this shit, yeah, it's costly. Thank you, brother. And this is the thing about it. It's like you can risk your life in these places and you can lose so much money. I lost so much money in France. I lost money in Tunisia. I lost finances. I'm not getting finances like that to come back to argue with people who don't or sit on their asses and just pick up books. I don't pick up books. I'm in mountains. I'm going through it. I'm sitting with people and I'm trying to figure out this thing just as well as he's trying to figure it out. We all trying to figure
all
this
I
thing
have
out.
is really is one question. That's it. And I'm gonna shut up. That's it. My question to him is, what is your nationality and where you from? That's all the question I have.
Ayati.
Okay, my mother's born in Jamaica, but I was born in the United States. Jamaican, American Moorish American. I don't. Well, being born in the United States in the nationality field here, under the false nationality field here, they'll label you as a Negro, Black, or a colored. That's not. And that those are not.
Why?
Why you? I don't even want to talk about Cleopatra. I don't know what's the facts
Listen,
about
can we
Cleopatra.
move?
I don't. I
Listen,
don't.
can
I
we
don't know
move?
what that is.
Honestly, let me stop you with this. The conversation that we should be having with these people is not us, because we know what we should be having this conversation with these Egyptians who are claiming to be Egyptians. So I said, maybe if you watch my video, maybe they're saying she's not Egyptian because Egypt is Greek. Egypt is a Greek word. Egypt is a Greek word. It's not an English word. It's not an indigenous name. It's none of that. It's Greek. So when you talk about ancient Black gods, there is no ancient Black gods. But when you read history or study history, you would know they were called Ethiopians, Nubians. And I said, maybe if we call them Nubians, maybe if we call them Moors, maybe if we, you know what I mean, Cushites, then we can have some conversation.
You say there's no
Brother, it's not. Brother, listen, brother, I don't know how well you know language. If I just told okay, so what is okay, so what is Greek? What is Greek? What is Greek? Is Egypt a Greek word? Listen, I ain't saying where it come from. I asked you, was it a Greek word? So what's the argument if it come from Qatar or whatever? What difference does it make if I'm saying to you, if that's what it's called, right? Then why aren't we calling it that instead of calling it Egypt? So you take it back. You don't keep letting them call it what it's not. If I call you out your name, you won't get mad at me. If I keep calling you a girl, you won't get upset with me. Am I lying? Unless you want to do that now, because you know nowadays you can do that. But anyway, you know why they did it? Brother, Black has nothing to do with the people, though. If you're talking about Kim, no, brother, no, you can't even prove that to me. Let me explain this to you again.
you're trying to resurrect dead languages, bro. It's dead. That shit is conquered.
Listen. Listen. Yeah, brother, you must not be familiar with me. Because if you go to, hold up. If you never watch my videos, go watch recently when I pull all those books out. My point is if you're going to call it that, then call it that. Don't call it Greek then. Or you follow me? That's all I'm saying. So if you're talking about it means chem, Pharaoh was the keeper of chemistry, right? As you have chemet is chemistry. Pharaoh is to keep up chemet, which is chemistry. The C will be the K. Okay, this is like in language. The D will be the T. The C, you follow me? So once you understand the language, it could be the land. In Hawaii, they have black land, black sand. Am I lying, people? Listen to me. I need you to hear me because you go to this language thing about the black mean black people. So if the land they talking about is black, or the soil is black, or the soil is brown, that don't mean that it's the people. You keep relating to the land and the people at the same time. Okay, then go to Mediterranean. I'm okay. I'm okay. So you telling me that they use that to describe their skin color? That's what you're telling me. They use so does it mean triple blackness, or you talking about something like this or something that's what they was talking about? Okay. So you believe, so hold up. So you believe somebody with a PhD? If I told you this person has a PhD, and if you actually read this, would you believe this too? If I literally told you to research this brother, Abdullah Hakim Quick, right? If I told you to research this individual, would you believe what he said? So this is the thing with me, brother. I don't know. So I'm not an expert.
Yo,
So I'm not an expert on what I do because I'm not claiming to have
Sabir,
a PhD.
Sabir, you're good. You're good. You're a real
No,
good guy.
label. Hold on, bro. Hold
Are
up.
you serious?
Did you just say that anyone? Hold up. You saying that anyone can label themselves? So why do these people label themselves scholars and doctors and who? Brother, let me tell you something. My validation come from. Hold up. But I earned the title for doing this almost 30 years. You don't hear me running around 30 traveling and hold up, brother. What
School.
school?
That's irrelevant. A PhD and titles can be.
But it's like who controls?
PhD.
But who controls these schools? Who controls the schools to even want to be validated by these schools, though?
Wait a minute, but PhDs and titles can be given, but they also can be stripped and taken away as well.
That's my point of telling brother, but you're not. Hold up. I need you to hear me. That's what was happening with Ivan Ben Sertima. So if I'm getting something from a university, they can take it from me. This is you can never take from me, the mind. This is the greatest tool ever. Titles can be taken, papers can be taken. Everybody around the world came to sit at the footsteps of the Moors. Factual. Factual. What? No, because you got to do what they say do. You can't go out, brother. Stop. Yes, you
Doctors
do.
get their PhD taken away right and left if they kill someone. They can be sued. They can be sued for medical malpractice. Go to the board and have their PhDs as a doctor stripped away from them. Attorneys can be disbarred. They can have their license taken away from them. Me as a licensed cosmetology, I can have my license being taken away if I screw somebody head up and they take me to court and sue me. So all these licenses and PhDs, it's not a right, it's a privilege. It can be given and can also be taken away. So for you to sit up here and say that, you know,
Brother, let me explain to you. Brother.
do you understand that doctors travel all over the world and go into the village and see natural healers and find out what type of science and how the
You
science
don't
is being
understand that
used?
part. That's part of history that's being hidden from you. Brother,
You don't know that. You don't know that.
You 1 second, brother. This is factology. Yes, somebody brought up Dr. Sabi too. This is the problem with most of you pro-black Africans or whatever you claim to be. Because you're no, brother. And it's not about this you, because there's other people on here. My point is, because I said that for a reason, because you thinking going to the university is going to teach you something. I just explained to you. No, brother, I am African. I just told you the history, brother. I don't know if you heard me or not, but you keep telling me something about what makes you an expert. Malcolm X said this years ago. There's a difference between being qualified and competent. You know the difference between qualified and competent? Malcolm said there's a difference between being qualified and competent, which means that you are limited if you're qualified. Competent, you go beyond. Malcolm X also stated and killed everybody in Harvard with an 8th grade education. He didn't go to no school because why? These people already, brother, listen to me. Listen to what I'm bringing. Brother, I've studied Malcolm since I was 16 years old, brother. You ain't telling me nothing about Malcolm X. I know everything about this man. I can tell you, I met his daughter in the whole 9 yards in Jersey. My point is, okay, brother, he went to the 8th grade where he traveled. When he traveled, he started learning. So what happened, brother, listen to me. My whole point, don't have to go all there. Even if he was in prison, he learned. And how did he learn? Malcolm said to read, no diction. He knew the book from left to right. My point is to you is that he sat in the room in Harvard and murdered everybody that came on the platform with him. Why? Because these things was already in our DNA. He was not educated. Indoctrinated. We are indoctrinated. We're not educated, because once you understand what education means, was to draw out what's in you. Edu means to draw out what's already in you. What they're doing in school is putting in, and then taking out. That's what they're doing. So now you are programmed. And this is why you have 12 years of brainwashing camp and then another 4 to 6 years of brainwashing camp, because you're going to regurgitate exactly what he's saying. So let me explain to you what Ephraim is saying, because I'm in this industry and I've been doing radio for over 25 years, brother, not YouTube's. Radio. And I've been in a room with a lot of people. And when you're sitting in a room with certain people, I used to stay in Eddie Griffin's house. I had a conversation with my brother Hanif about this. And I said, he was telling me stuff beforehand. When I moved to California, Eddie Griffin said this to me. And I tell you, he might be watching this. I lived in Hawthorne. I was staying in Hawthorne, California. And I was staying in these it was like extended stays. And I was running out of money. And I called Eddie Griffin up on the phone. I swear, this is what he said to me. I still remember, I've been in LA for 14 years. And I still remember the day when he said this to me. Don't ask nobody for nothing. I said, what do you mean? He said, don't ask nobody for nothing, because if you ask somebody for something, they're going to want something from you. And that stuck with me. And bad as I was doing it, bad as I needed money, I didn't sleep with a nigga. I didn't do anything, whatever, to get money. I said, damn, I have to create something. And when I start being around certain entertainers like Marlon saying, if you create something good enough, people will come. You have to create something. And that's what I did when I was in LA for 14 years. I created the radio show. I created documentaries. I'm creating these things so people can see what I'm doing instead of me having something on me that you can pull up later on. So me being an Eddie Griffin. Okay, but bear with me. I want you to hear what I'm saying to you. I'm explaining this to you. Hope you get it about why I'm saying it. Because when I'm sitting in Eddie Griffin's house, he used to tell me, when you coming in, just like going into these universities, you want something, and then you switch up in the middle of this mug, that's when they come at you. This is why most people in all of these industries are getting caught up, because you're coming in and you're begging for something, and now you want to be enlightened. I came in the door like this. So when they see me, they say, okay, we're going to stop Sabir from going X, Y, and Z, because he's not like the typical person. He's not asking for anything. He didn't come in like that. I came in straight like this. I didn't come in asking for a job or asking for something. When you're going into these institutions, even if it's a university, you can't go out beyond There are guidelines, brother. No matter which way you flip it, they're going to take your money from you. They're going to strip you of your degrees. They're going to make it hard for you. And most people don't want that struggle. I know the struggle. I know the struggle. That's you, brother. You don't live here. I live here. And I've been in this industry. I just gave you some facts. I don't know if you want to research it or not, but you're talking. I know about all of these people, brother. You telling me something? Did you see what happened? Every last one of these people, listen, every last one of these people went against it. Where were they at? Alton Maddox, Dr. Ben, all of these people died broke. They died broke. Brother, you have no idea what I know. No doubt. No, I'm not. Yes, no doubt. No doubt, bro. I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you came on because you just sharpened me up, bro. I appreciate you so much, brother. But yeah, do some more research on J.A. Rogers because his work is bananas. Okay, I got it, brother. Okay. No doubt, brother. Peace.
Lord, okay.
Okay, I'm back. It was a bit long. Need to use the bathroom, so I'm going to play a little some. Ain't going to be long. Just about the practices amongst the conscious community.
Bro, listen. I don't even know who's over there watching that shit. But actually, you know what? That's a lie. I do. What's happening right now is there's a line in the sand, and the pedophiles and the pro-pedophiles. Remember when I said this is revealing who's pedophile and who's pro-pedophile? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these people have shit that they've been doing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people have shit that they've been doing, shit that they interested in. A lot of these niggas go on to vacations in Dominican Republic and Brazil and all these other places and be doing a lot of shit that if they was here in the States, them niggas would get killed for. You know what I'm saying? But these niggas going on vacation doing other goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? And niggas coming around thinking that because they got a little few dollars that they could get away with doing certain shit, that makes them somebody. It don't. See, I still come from a world where money don't determine who you are. It don't. Because you got a little control of a platform and niggas looking at you and you can put niggas in position like, bro, that shit don't mean nothing if you a slime ball. Period. So you over there having sex with little girls. Remember, I was saying that we needed to boycott Sonetta Page until he took polite videos down. At this point, I'm saying that we need to just boycott that page. Everybody needs to unsubscribe. The nigga's a pedophile. What are you doing now? And if he's not, let him break it down. Let him explain his relationship with Nikki because he cannot deny his relationship with Nikki. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? That is a real thing that happened. That would be the same as Polite trying to deny Aminette. Polite can't deny he with Aminette no more than Sonetta could deny that he was with Nikki for years. So let him explain that. Let him explain what he's doing with Nikki. He's 33, she's 15. And let me show you something. So you really know that this is a problem. He stayed in a relationship with her. He went to prison for a year and stayed in a relationship with her while he was in prison. And when he came home, he came right back to her. So that means that he thinks that that's okay. You see what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, we want to say the girl had a really big body and she looked grown and he was out somewhere drunk and they hooked up for a one night stand and he didn't know. Okay, that's a situation. That could be argued back and forth. I'm not saying yay, nay, or whatever. But you were with this girl since she's in junior high school, my nigga. To the time she's in high school. Guess who's going to jail tonight? What? Bro, stop doing videos on everything else and talk about you and Nikki over there, bro. Talk about you and Nikki. And be careful because niggas in Harlem is now paying attention. So it's niggas that know about other things that's hitting me, sending me text messages and all that. And I'm ignoring a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, what I would like you to do is go out on a high note. This is a real message from me to you, Saab. You watching this video. Go out on a high note with some dignity, bro. Don't keep dragging this thing out where you keep losing dignity in front of us, bro. It's hurting me. I don't know. A lot of these people that's watching, they don't really give a fuck about none of the people involved. It's hurting me to keep finding out more of these things that's making who you are in my mind diminish less and less and less into below nothingness. And it's a lot of people in the community that feel the same way, bro. And if you would have just stopped this shit, if you would have just stopped this polite shit so long ago, man, you could have saved this community so much fucking heartache, bro. And you still going, my nigga. You still pointing out other niggas instead of dealing with your man polite. Now, let's look how fucking goofy this nigga saw look. All this research work, right? He doesn't realize that he's demonstrating to the entire community that he's capable of fully pulling up all the information on Brother Polite. But you're not doing anything but pulling up information on other people. Okay, so now we passed Brother Polite, bro. Now we're on Brother Sinetta.
Okay, I'm back. I'm very sorry because I checked on my phone and I realized that. Let me check if you can hear me though. So yes, I checked on my phone and on the page that I was sharing, you cannot hear my voice. You can only hear Sabia Bay. Now, if you clicked on the link that's on the screen, then I guess you got the whole thing. So next time, if I ever happen to pull up like that, then I will know that I should share the link of the actual stream on YouTube rather than sharing my screen on StreamYard, you know. So I did make my mic mute here, but I thought that, you know, you were here my voice. But anyway, what I will do when I finish, whenever his live stream is finished, I will download the video. I mean, it would take a while because you cannot download immediately, but I would download the exchange and then upload it so people can see. Let me just go through the comments because there were many. And I'm sorry, before I went over there, I removed the people from the panel, or I quote unquote kicked them out of the panel, just to make sure, because I knew I was going to be aware. I don't know if there's going to be some noise, I have to be in control. But if anybody wants to come back, they are welcome. As a matter of fact, I'll share the link. If anybody wants to come back, link to get on the panel. But we had a nice discussion. It was courteous to me, Of course, we don't see eye to eye. I mean, we don't really agree. It took like more than half an hour to establish the ethnicity of Cleopatra, because Moors don't like the word black. They don't like the word white. So it was a bit difficult, but it is what it is. So Acacia 254 is in a place to be. MF Dreadson is in a place to be. Enter the Crisis is in a place to be. Love Me for as well. So Anaki and folks. That probably she means Anunnaki. Donny Williams is in a place to be. He wrote "Ça passe moins bien, mon pas plus mal." Now, Love Me for said that the interview of the dude was too hard to watch. Hey, what's up, young hero?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, did you follow it? Oh, Ching Ching is back as well.
Yeah,
did you
I was
guys
following. Yeah, I was following, man. I saw what's going on. You know what I'm saying? He talking about he wrote down himself in his passport.
Hey, young Avery.
And
Hey, I knew he was going to do it, young Avery. He tried to Flatbush Shaka with all these fake celebrities that he used to hang with. And
at least,
he's part of Africa Bambaataa group. He was the
yeah,
Zulu.
he too. All of them, bro. All of them came from that yuck Bambaataa nonsense. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
why he always played KRS-One music.
But he just tried to play it off like he wasn't with the whole Morris Temple and science. Like he separated from them though. Like
But to his credit, I think he said it like back in like 2008 when he was on the
he
couch
claimed that
studying.
he claimed his lineage is Moorish. He said he not from Moorish mark. He said he a Moor by birth. This nigga's crazy.
I bet his birth certificate don't say that, or
right.
his passport. He wrote
and that's where Shaka. My bad, young hey Rusi. That's where Shaka had him at, because he over there showing these people what he wrote down on a piece of paper to travel. But Shaka said, "Show me that on your passport." His passport still say United States of America citizen, but he over there showing people something that he wrote down on the paper.
But look though, Chiggy, you know what? So at least he has some respect. Is the other idiots in the background and coming on the panel, boy? They were all in their feelings when.
That's that dude Noble. He real crazy. He jump on there every time. Like I try to tell him.
He was talking about the shock nationality, and he going hard for France and all kind. He from they talking about he from Sanetta Channel, all kind of crazy. I'm like, these people really got issues, boy. They ready to jump on that man. They don't even know him from nowhere, all because they can't prove. I mean, just show and prove. That's all we want to see. Other than that, regardless of what you say, nobody don't take you serious. You ain't running no land. You don't have no power structure or no say in no politicals, nothing in the world, bro. So all that more things like where your lineage at, where your civilization, where your kings, where the records.
Right, he talking about he did all these radio shows. Nigga, you was on the weakest radio shows in the world. You wasn't on no man. Then he tried to come at Shaka like, because when I was over Eddie Griffin house, like you flabberbushing now, nigga. You want Shaka to be amazed.
You know everybody and their mama now.
That's all he do is use old celebrities and go over there and have them people amazed by his talking points from the 90s.
You know what's so funny about these black people? Why they want to identify something that doesn't even resonate with the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like I would understand if you resonated with something that had land and rules and like, you know what I mean? Like you actually claim it, like people like the Indians or the so-called Jews. Like who I don't even know where this Jew concept came from, and if these people were actually anybody to begin with before the Bible. But I'm just saying, putting things in perspective. Like y'all calling yourself this and that, but nobody don't recognize y'all or nothing, bro. If you born in America, you are Black American. If you born in the Caribbean, you from the Caribbean, you are Black
Right.
Caribbean, wherever you from, nationality, that's what it's gonna say.
Right.
Period. End of story. So you could claim what you want, and then they want to gain their feelings about it. That's the funniest part, man. It's
And you
crazy.
know, young Hebrew, I asked him, he said when he started out, he was a Sunni Muslim, right? But he said his grandmother been told them they was Moors, but they couldn't talk about it. So you was a Sunni Muslim first.
No. See,
You were studying Sunni Muslim first, but then a guy taught you about Moor science, but now your lineage is Moors. Like, come on, man. Who leg you think you pulling, man? Like,
Yeah, they must have some treasure buried somewhere. They must have. I mean, the journey or the destiny must be good. The rewarded.
No, young Hebrew is the money. Hebrew, you should hear how he talked to his people in the chat. He been demanding them money. Like, if y'all don't send me money so I can travel. He's like, y'all don't send me money so I can travel. Yeah, he say black. His talking point is the Black Americans. He say we the worstest. He said we don't have nothing. We he said on the Dred Scott case, we still known as property. We don't have no nationality. We nothing. So that's his talking points. Then he tell them to give him money so he can go over Spain and find their real history and the information. He gonna bring it back to them. He gonna take pictures by a wall and explain about a wall to them, and they give him money. You know how much he charging for a Zoom when he go over there? $250 just to get on a Zoom so they can see him. These guys are, he with the crooked nigga Taj Tariq Bey. That's who his teacher is.
Oh, I understand now why he was saying if you want to get on the Zoom, I understand. But I don't fault him for asking donation because he really travels. I did see him when he was in Spain. I mean, I don't think it was a live stream, but I did see a video where he was in Spain, and like he said, he's been to other countries. I don't know what it's like. I do travel as
So
well.
how come he ain't come back with a more ruler yet then?
But that's the thing because they don't like to use the word black. And also to answer your question earlier, he's what people would label a non-temple Moor. Well, those Moors who are part of some Moorish Science Temple of America, there's a few,
That's him and Taj Tariq. Shock. There's a video when the Moors checked them about that. They checked Taj Tariq Bey about that, and he said he knew he was wrong. See, what they doing is they separating themselves because they got a talking point with saying some of the people in the conscious community, like he said, in the Moor sign, they agents. So they using this agent word like, yeah, them guys are agents. We don't deal with that. We are really Moors. They saying they Moors like Moors. Like you said, they was European Moors over there, but he don't believe that. He's saying his people from over there, but he ain't go over there and holler at one cousin or brother. He went over there and took pictures.
I just want to interject real quick.
Go ahead, Cuban Crisis.
Because honestly, like I really don't want to even get in this whole debacle of the conscious community because it's just like one ear out the other, and I personally have learned on my behalf, like, as individuals, we have things in our lives that we need to handle, and it's just like it's at the end of the day, it's just a waste of time, man. And a lot of people just don't care. So like I was in Zulu Nation from 14 to 37. I never believed in York's people that didn't. So not everybody in Zulu Nation was into York's teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Just to verify that. And I've actually was very outspoken in front of BAM and other people about it. Like, I was never feeling it. Like, it just didn't make sense. But as time went on before I left and I'm piecing things together before I exited out, it makes sense today why I was in it. Because BAM took his Shahada in the Ansar Allah community. Like, he's always been down with York. And he would always talk spaceships and Atlantis and all that type of stuff. the other thing is like I was a Orthodox Muslim for a very long time. Islam, the criteria of the Quran and the Sunnah does never discusses anything about Moors. There's no emphasis placed on Moors at all. It's nowhere in the it's just not there. You know, and it's like this emphasis on Moors is not. You know, were there people that were Moors that were Muslim? You know, did they contribute to science and architecture and, you know, things like that? Yeah, but Islamically, those would be secular things. So it wouldn't be this great emphasis as far as what an individual would need for quote unquote salvation to get to paradise. Would it be something to say, oh, look, these were Moors and these group of Moors were Muslims and, you know, the Muslim world contributed to this? In that regard, yeah, but other than that, there's nothing there that's of importance. And when they emphasize this, it's like, again, it just has nothing to do with the religion. And they're just they're caught up in this thing of war.
Yes, brother.
I got real quiet.
No, because you sometimes it was breaking up when you were speaking, so I was wondering if it was breaking up again, but it was just like a second or two, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know the thing is that you know it's good to have a dialogue. You know, he's in his paradigm, and it's good for people to hear the exchange. At one at one point, some of the other people on the panel were kind of having issue with PhDs, you know what I'm saying? So I brought up the fact, you know, when you have a medical doctor, you know, when you have a surgery, you want a medical doctor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he brought up some, you know, people who go to the nature or whatever, but, you know, they don't perform surgery. Then, you know, the name of Dr. Sebi was brought up, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know where he got his doctorate degree from, but, you know, I understand people put him like that. You know, I don't think, you know, he never performed surgery, not to my knowledge.
You know why they do that, Chaka? To try to classify that their opinion matters as much as PhDs.
Exactly.
And that's what all these people on YouTube do. All of them. Dr. this and Master this and all kind of names. I'm like, who the hell is these people? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why Osimo Fake and Ujao was trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like
when you talk about peers, we talking about people that do these things for their whole life and go to different schools, universities, and have different degrees. And other people that have these same things and do the same work is who they appear against. Not people that just think because they matter, their opinion should be classified as a PhD. It don't work like that. No. If you want your opinion to matter, it should be you should be a PhD as well to show that you put in the work. Or matter of fact, go get us a PhD more, because it's clear that you don't have no records or information about what you're talking about. You see what I'm saying?
And you know what's interesting is that you have a lot of people. What they do nowadays is that they get some doctorate degrees from non-accredited school or institutes. You know, for example, in metaphysical type of science, you know, others will go and get some credentials like in theology. You know what I'm saying? So they will get, you know, some doctorate degrees in divinity or master's degrees in divinity of some sort. But
everybody will have an opinion, you know. But
yeah, that's just like Shaka told him. You ain't gonna get no regular person saying they something to do surgery on the brain. You gonna go to the goddamn PhD dude at the damn hospital, the doctor. He talking about, I've been in this for 23 years. You've been saying the same thing over and over for 30 years. You into y'all. I don't like talking to the Moors because every word you say to them, they want to give you the definition. He talking about education mean edu. They bring it without and the word you is and then and man, what are you talking about, brother? Like, this nigga crazy.
But you see, Ching Ching, in 2008, this thing was fly. You know what I'm saying? So but the thing is that now it's a different age. You know what I'm saying? But that's interesting because, you know, he was saying that if you study in a university, then you need to regurgitate what they say. And then I brought up the example of Dr. Shekanta Diop. And then, he was trying to argue that everybody who didn't go with the consensus, ended up broke. But Dr. Diop did not end up broke at all. You see, so Dr. Shekanta Diop,
And
PhD. Go ahead, brother.
have being broke have to do with anything?
No, because his argument is whoever goes to university, those PhDs, they need to follow the consensus. If they don't follow the consensus, then they get kicked out. They end up broke. That was his argument. And I was not in agreement with that argument. And that's why I brought up Dr. Dia. But it's a shame when we have people minimizing PhDs, because the PhDs are the experts. They are the specialists. Now, of course, somebody who doesn't have a PhD or even a master's degree or even a bachelor's degree can be very knowledgeable, can present information, but then show us the information. See, so that's why I like to ask, can you show me? And usually that is what is lacking in this community. See, so I don't mind if, it says United States of America in the nationality field. You know what I'm saying? At least those guys kept it real. That guy from the Amarwa squad, that Moorish guy, he actually lied. He said that he says more in his nationality field. And after he ended up lying live on air, he started doing his campaign, and I lost like 7,000 subscribers and all that. But they kept it real about that. But I don't mind. It does not make them less of a man, but that is a reality, you see. But we could not really get to Cleopatra and her ethnicity, and same for the Moors in general, But
they ain't want to waste time on that.
He was challenging me to show something, and then I said, okay, Golden Age of the Moor. But then when I put it up, well, I know the book, blah blah blah, but I did show the guy rowing, So then I asked him, okay, what are the other guys? And he said fair skin. So it's an endless circle, because some black people can be
black
fair skin.
too.
No, he didn't say they were black. He said they were fair skin. But you see, he is skilled. He is skilled.
He was playing a lot of word games.
He knew where I was getting at. He knew. So he was like, hey, you're fair skin, I'm fair skin, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, look, ethnicity matters. It's a reality. You know what I'm saying? And then when I brought up the cam in the Medu Nature, he was not in agreement. He was kind of, denying that, but it's okay, It's a good convo. I think he was still courteous, because he runs the panel. He put me on mute at the end, a few times, but I unmuted myself to interject. But I would say overall, it was courteous. It was courteous, So I think that's cool,
Yeah, he a fucking idiot to me.
Well, let's be diplomatic. I mean, when people are respectful
we haven't seen nothing yet.
That dude Noble gonna jump straight on there, talking, hold on, Sabir, hold on, what's your nationality? I'm like, this dude is crazy, man.
Yeah, when Shaka left, they were talking this and that.
It's normal. It's normal, just like we're talking now. But if they ever hear anything, they can come here at any time. If it's not today, it can be another time.
I see what Shaka was saying, like Young Hayru, because if you say the elephant, he gonna say no, the tiger elephant. Like, he always got a comeback for it. Don't matter right or wrong. Yeah, like you said, Young Hayru, he playing word salad. He just gonna keep whatever. He ain't gonna never admit to nothing, because he was in the first hitting colors for 1 minute. Him and Tariq Nasheed was beefing, so Tariq Nasheed had I guess was clowning him on the internet, and Tariq Nasheed, he bootlegged Tariq Nasheed's hitting colors and was selling them to bookstores.
And he was doing screening as well. So Tariq Nasheed he was doing bootleg screenings. And he was served the paper. I talked about that. I saw the video. He might be floating online. And when the guy gave him the video, he said, you Sabir Bey? Not the video, sorry, the paperwork. And he said, there go, he said, I was just paid to do that. Then he said, wait, that ain't me. and Tariq said that he actually chased the guy and he threw the stuff away. I mean, on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Because almost like he never admits to nothing. He don't admit, and I be watching his video shot, and he don't admit to nothing. If you say something, if you say the apple red, he gonna say, no, well, I eat green apples because I'm a vegan and I don't eat beef. I don't want beef because I don't eat beef. Yo, the nigga is crazy. Yeah, Young Hayru, the nigga is crazy. They said I was listening to the dudes, the Canaan Land Moors. They said he tried to charge people $20,000 to bring them to Pennsylvania, Philly, and walk around and show them the Moors architect around Philly. I'm like, what? 20 grand just to go walk around and look at some buildings, nigga. I can bring you in the hood and show you some linked over houses and some motherfucking vacant houses that we call bandos. Like,
that man crazy, bro. Like people stuck on stupid, my boy. Like the other day.
And hold on, check this out. You see this entire road. So, okay, so what are darker folks called? Unfair skin. And for those who don't know, see, Lord Abba have been having this claim for a long time. He will show the color black. He will say, you see that we're not black. There's no such thing as black. You know what I'm saying? Like he will show his fez, his black fez. You see, my fez is black. My skin is not black. My skin is brown. We actually have the same talk with Jao. But then some people will mess with Lord Abba and show him pictures of people from the Sudan because many of them are very dark skinned. Like you have many very dark skinned people also in Senegal, Mali, and other places. You know what I'm saying? Uganda as well, Kenya, you can find some very dark skinned, but Sudan, they're very well known for that. You know what I'm saying? And then Lord Abba will still deny. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. And that's what's funny to me. But at the end of the day, I agree with you, brothers. I'm just trying to be diplomatic. Usually people don't admit to anything. You know what I'm saying? They want to be right. They want to deflect. And he was
Because
going
they
all the
have
way.
a agenda. They really think their fairy tale is true. That's the bro. Everybody has their day. Like, give it up. Like who wastes their life trying to convince themselves that they are something instead of just living? Like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? And all of them, that's what they doing in these doctrines.
Because
Trying to
you know
claim
why,
it.
young Haru, they gotta get adapted to the internet. So all them was giving them classes back then, so they control and dominate. Nobody was challenging them back then when they was doing them lectures heavy in the 90s, and people was just listening to the information. But now on the internet, you got people challenging you. So now they don't like the challenge. That's why you got a lot of echo chambers out here.
Facts. They have to come and defend their bulls to keep it going because everybody tearing them down.
And you see why equal time is important. It doesn't have to be a debate, but you see, I was a guest, so sometimes I would see he would deflect and talk about other stuff. So I had to be quiet for a while and then try to come back to the issue about Cleopatra. And because at one point he talked about pictures, and in my mind I was like,
well,
there's no pictures, like
so,
Hannibal. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
So I watched the thing for a few minutes, right? And young Pharaoh was telling Jabari that the metadata, all of the metadata wasn't deciphered. And some about the structures and the what do you call it again? Yeah.
What's that?
I'm trying to think of the pyramids and all of that. Like they
Yeah.
was there before the stories of the melanetta and yada yada. So but Jabari was telling him he's using names from the melanetta. So how did he know what it called? Like certain names like from Kemet from back then. So he using the same language. He's saying that's not deciphered. So yeah, it was just a bunch of confusion,
But we do have some words that we use today that derive from the Medu-Neter, and ebony, ebony, is one of them. The English word ebony, in French we call it eben. It comes from the Medu-Neter ebony, and I made a video about that.
So
You know what I'm saying?
when you say the melanetta, are you talking about the what do you
The
call it?
ancient Egyptian language.
Oh yeah, the
Hieroglyphic.
dramatic or
No, actually, it's good that you asked this question. Well, actually, let me just show. It's better. I can always show better than I can tell. Uh, I I could use hold on. Hieroglyphic. The Demotic, hieratic, is the same language. It's just the scripts. The script is different. You see. So we have the quote unquote classical hieroglyphic script, the one that most people are familiar with. We have the hieratic script, which is like more linear, like more shorthand, like quicker to write.
Yeah.
And then we have finally the demotic. So it's all the same language, just the scripts.
Okay. So
Yes,
all three
different.
of them
Yes.
is one and the same.
Language, just the let's say the script or writing style is different. You see, and here I think that most likely they will show the different. Hold on, they'll probably have a part about writing system. So that's a classical, but I want them to so hold on. But let me do a search. If I put demotic, they don't have it all together, but if I do hieroglyphic scripts, maybe somebody there it is. Let's see that. I don't know that website, but let's see. Oh man. Well, never mind. But yeah. To make the long story short, same language, 3 different scripts. So I remember, the guy who claimed that there's a hieroglyphic symbol that means Allah. I refuted that back in 2008/2009.
Egyptian, he was there too. He was saying similar things to what young Pharaoh was saying. He was
You mean Commissioner Depth?
Yeah, Commissioner
He
Depth.
is pseudo. I mean, if you hear me, Commissioner Depth, you are pseudo. I mean, I can help you to no longer be pseudo if you want to. It's not an obligation. But there's no hieroglyphic symbol that means Allah. It was refuted a long time ago. Besides, the guy who claimed that,
What happened?
I uploaded the video with the
You want
Rudoko
one milk
Rashidi
or you
tour.
want some hot soup?
Yeah. He said this is not hieroglyphic. This is pyramid text. That's what the dude said. I showed that in my video. He in the comments, he was going back and forth with me for a little while. He said this is pyramid text. As if the pyramid text is different than the Medu Neter. You kind of hear, a lot of things, but yeah, no, but I've muted you, Young Hero, because you were having a conversation. Feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry about that. Give me a minute.
No problem, brother, no problem. But feel free, go ahead, Young Hero. Oh, okay, yeah, he's muted himself. So, yeah, but hey, brothers and sisters, feel free if you have any questions or comments. I'm in a good mood right now, but I won't be too long because I work in tomorrow morning. But man, hey, we can definitely get some clarity. But please, brothers and sisters, please do not diminish PhDs. They are very skilled, they are trained, they are knowledgeable, and we have to stop with this. Now, once again, even if somebody doesn't have any academic credentials, he can also present information, fine. But when we talk about history, it's difficult to go without records, you see, because Osahim Mufek and other people, they like to do linguistic acrobatics and linguistic gymnastics, and they think that they can do history just solely on languages. No, you need some data, you need some records, you need some artifacts, most of the time that's how it works, you see. So we do have depictions of ancient populations, At one point, he said, the original inhabitants of Ireland, the original Irish people, original is not precise at all. It could be 10,000 BC, it could be 1 million years ago. I don't do those dates. I don't even know if there's any record for those dates. But, from at least 2500 BC, we do have depiction, the standard of Ur that I have shown many times. And yeah, now, what did they say about the commission? Hold on. Paraphrasing, but at one point he said he was at some gay Hollywood. I don't recall. I have to check it again. I mean, I would upload it. I don't think I would listen to it again. Maybe when I'm driving, though. Sometimes when I drive, I like to listen. To the convo I had. David, I saw your comment on that. Okay, he was renting and slipped that in here. Well, maybe he did. I have to hear it for myself. That is for sure pseudo. That's why Scam Cheddar loves him. Commissioner Deb thinks Arabic is older than Medu Neter. I mean, that's funny to say something like that. It's so inaccurate. And then again, ask a linguist, ask any linguist of your choice. And if you wonder how to contact those scholars, just type in, a name of a university, and then type discipline, type linguist, I don't know, University of Michigan, University of Pennsylvania, University of Chicago. You have some names, you have the contact details. They may not all reply to you, but some of them will ultimately reply to you. But feel free, Q and Crisis, if you want to add on.
Yeah, I was trying to find a video from 4 or 5 years ago. It was on Joel Benjamin's channel on YouTube, Joel Benjamin 528, and Sabir Bey had called in. So basically, this has been my issue with Sabir Bey. So I've seen him many a times come to the Universal meetings, which was the main meeting in Zulu Nation, and he would come through and he would talk. I've seen him at anniversaries. I don't know if he was a card-carrying member of Zulu Nation or if he was just like an honorary member. I don't know. But on Joel Benjamin's channel, and I was trying to find his video. I don't know if Joel Benjamin deleted it. He says that the reason why these quote-unquote allegations towards Bambaataa came about was because he was teaching that we're Moors. And you heard him say that on the live about, oh, you know, if somebody from another country comes in here, so it's talking about we're Moors, they're going to get deported. Well, like, why aren't you deported and a whole bunch of y'all deported? And
he's gonna say it's because he's American. That's why he was slick to say if you're from another country. But the big conspiracy thing, they are big on that. But keep going, brother.
He so he says on there that was the reason why, and then he starts talking about how he met somebody that everybody thought was a member of Zulu, but turned out they were FBI informant, and that they came to him and presented to him documents proving this, right? So I called in on the show, and I'm like, where's the documents? Because if this was true, then trust me, I would be the first. Same thing with Dr. Pork. If it was true that these aren't, facts of what they did, I would be in line to apologize. I got no problem with that. I said a whole bunch of messed up things. I called you Dr. Pork and all this stuff, and I came at your son and blah blah blah. Okay, here's my apology.
Yeah. But did he show any document when you asked him?
No, he didn't show anything. And
that's what they do.
I reached out to Joel Benjamin sometime after that, and I was like, "Did you get any documents?" Because he said he was going to give them to me. He was like, "No." So nothing was ever produced, and it's just always this thing about they don't want the world to know we're Moors, and it's etymology. Like, and he spoke about in French that there's this word similar to Moor, and then you have Moreno in Spanish, right? And it's like at that time, like when you look up this word Moor, if a European was a Muslim, they were considered a Moor. Anybody considered a Muslim was a Moor. And it's a term in reality that Europeans came up with to call a group of people that. Like when they say, oh, look, Columbus, they knew that these were Moors, that these Tainos were Moors, and the Moors were here. And it's like in society today, a racist white person will look at somebody who is not European, and you got, I don't like using the N-word, but you have
ninjas,
sand ends, you got spick ends, you got them yellow ends, talking about Asians. So everybody's an end to them, but they know that there's a difference in ethnicity and nationality. So it's the same thing with this thing more. It's like this wasn't some like divine name or some esoteric name that's just so profound that we're really Moors. It's like it's just so ridiculous.
Exactly. It was a bizarre generalization to just lump a bunch of people in they didn't like into something they could identify and kick out. Moors. It's just
that's just like a lot of it.
Sorry,
a lot of it. What's up, Benny? It's a lot of it from shell shock from the whole thing, like we all going through. Because if you do your history check, like when the Aryan Brotherhood started, Tommy Silverstein, he was a Jew. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Mexican Mafia started, the white boy Peg Leg Joe was the leader of the white boys. Some of the Black Panthers, some of them was not all the way black. So it was basically like people was dealing with a lot of stuff in the 90s that they were just going by look, and they wasn't doing history check on a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So everybody got caught up in it. Like Barry Windham, Tommy Silverstein, Tommy. When the DC Blacks, they was beefing with the DC Blacks, which the guards gave DC dudes that name because they was terrorizing the whole jail. They was going for bad. And when Tommy Silverstein killed the dude Cadillac Williams and dragged his body up and down the tier and had all the fucking people in the cells crying because they never seen nobody stabbed 67 times. And Marion Control Unit, they saw their bars off Bree Bennett. Saw their bars also when Cadillac walked to the shower with his handcuffs on. Tommy Silverstein and the other dude chopped him up 67 times, man, and dragged his body around the compound and was letting people know that they not to be messed with. But they said the gods played the part in that race war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it is very it was intriguing when you read this book called The High House of Marion in the back in the 90s, how violent. I couldn't believe how violent these dudes was that was in this federal prison, and they was young dudes, 19 from DC, because you know DC didn't have a regular jail, so everybody was getting locked up, had to go to the federal system, getting shipped all over the world, and it was mad chaos, man.
Yeah, facts. You're right
Some
though.
cities
It's
too
just like you
small,
said.
so they ship them off. Yeah.
But it's true. It's like you said that the DC dudes didn't make up the term the DC blacks. It's what the others called them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just said, okay, we roll with that then. You know? But it's the same thing as but what's worse is at least the DC blacks know where they come from. They actually come from a city. You know what I mean? They can name things. They know who they are. They could tell you where their grandparents migrated from and all of this stuff. You ask the Moors, they can't tell you none of that. They just Moors. They don't come from any particular city in any particular place. They act like there's only, and if they can name one or two, there's only one or two. They're pretending like these aren't different groups of people with specific ethnicities, even if they speak a similar language, that they don't come from different towns. You look at Spain today, the North don't even get down with the South. You look at Italy today, they have so many different cultures within one nation.
Yeah, you're right.
Every town is proud of their town. Every town got a special liquor they make, a special dish that they make. You ask the Moors, they can't tell you nothing about that. But it shows you.
Or they'll tell you Islamic stuff.
And V Bennett, I didn't know. I was doing some reading that's the other day, and I didn't know that the Italians in Louisiana back in the day was going through the same thing as the black people down there was getting hung. I didn't know they was hanging Italians too in Louisiana back in those days, because they said the Italians and the blacks was really hanging together, not hanging together, but they lived by each other, and the Ku Klux Klan was doing the same thing to both of them at the same time.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I ain't never know that.
It's a lot of the reality is that there's a lot of Europeans, maybe they weren't slaves, but outside of that, when you look at certain areas in the country, there's different groups, there's a hierarchy even within them. And so you have, like, even in DC, you had Italian mobsters, man, and they came from some rough parts of the city. You had other ethnic groups that lived in abject poverty, with black people even. You know what I mean? It's great. Or in the same areas as black people, because the groups of people moved around, so it's like, and at one time, a lot of black people learned the criminal organization from the Italians, and then, basically, and work with them a lot.
It's just like my grandmother and them. We moved to Baltimore, but she from Bennettsville, South Carolina. So when I go down there, it's like all of them, they don't know nothing about Baltimore. It's like different cultures. It's like we really totally different, but you can tell our background from down there, like good loving people.
That's why we get along. That's where my family from too, Bennettsville. Yeah. But you could tell that by my name. That's what I'm trying to tell people. It's like, so when they say Moors, their names don't connect to any place. That's what we was talking about the other day. When they say Moor, okay, you could say that if you want, but I can actually tell you, even though I'm from DC, I can tell you where my family were slaves at in the country. There's a town called Bennettsville. It's an actual real place. It's a federal penitentiary today.
Not to cut you off, Bennett, but where did Noble Drew Ali get this whole Moor concept from? Did he study? Would he just study from the Europeans over in Morocco or something?
I think it comes from the Shriners in some respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's the Shriners? Madame Blavatsky and them?
No. Blavatsky, she was even with like the Theosophical Society or something like that. I think she was inspired by Crowley. The Shriners basically is like some form of masonry or Freemasonry.
But it's all the same thing.
It's a higher degree once you get out of Freemasonry. It's an honorary degree.
Oh, all right.
So they began having their own Islamic interpretation. But Blavatsky, you know, those early European, they played a role.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain concepts that there was things that was taken from.
So did Dr. York get his information from from
The
that
most
more?
From whom?
the
I mean,
last known name of the organization is the United Nubian Nation of Moors, and many
Oh,
times I
right.
do emphasize that. That's why when I spoke with Ujao, he had he was back dancing about the term black. You know what I'm saying? Because there were Moors. Actually, you have videos of York with the fez, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I uploaded a video back then when he used the term. I think he said Masons. He said we are Masons, but I will have to check on my archives. But yes, the Nubians, or I'm not sure if you said Nubian or Nubian, but they were, I think it's Nubian with a B. They were Moors, yeah.
So one more question. So Shaka in the panel, like when all this information, like how D Satanville said he was right, like so all of them brought this information to the black community to confuse them, like when they came with the Muslim doctrine, the Moors and all this, they brought that to the poverty ghetto to confuse the black people.
Well, Freemasonry was a big thing. Elijah Muhammad spoke on that. He was a Mason himself. We have him on tape, like audio, and he also wrote it. He said, "Once I was a Mason."
you talking about York?
No, Elijah Muhammad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's people who speculate that when he says
No. There's no need to speculate. I'm sorry to cut you off, but Elijah Muhammad is on tape saying, "Once I was a Mason." Actually, in my video, "Deception of Asiatic Black Men," I play the audio.
Well, let me rephrase that. When the term that he had a third grade education, third degree Mason.
No. Elijah Muhammad is on tape.
No, I know that, but I'm saying, like when you read about his history, it'll say he had a
third grade education. Some people speculate that it means like third degree of masonry.
Exactly,
Yes. I know. Yeah, and because I mean, I think his father was a minister or something, some sort of preacher, and he seemed to be quite knowledgeable. For him to just speak with Far Muhammad for 3.5 years, and then having the vocabulary that he has, it's
You know what it
unlikely
is?
that Yeah, go ahead.
It's basically a bunch of it's just a private little group of people that make themselves feel special, like they're connected to some royalty or God. It's all the same mumbo jumbo, man. All of it. It's nothing. When you really start looking into it and looking who they're following, and these are just a bunch of, it's just like having a club where you have a little extra thing on it where you say that, yeah, we're also special, we're closer to God. Another way of saying that is we're closer to a king. They're all the same things. We're royalty, and royalty is connected to God. It's just that simple, but it's all kooky. It's all kooky. None of it is any different than any other kooky thing out there. You may as well literally be doing voodoo, throwing some bones on the ground and seeing what bones come up first. It's all about belief,
Yep.
But the thing about it, it's all about belief. But the thing about it is that powerful people have their little special groups based on belief too. Doesn't have to be real. It's just kookiness. These Masons literally think that they had something to do with Egypt. And they'll write themselves into it in the kookiest ways, only to find out that they didn't. Why? Because it's always been like that. Connect yourself to the old power to get other people to follow you. That's all it is, man. It's just silliness, but it's no realer than anything else. The only thing that makes it real is that some people got power, but it doesn't make their kooky story any realer. Their kooky story is just kooky story. You ever been to the Masonic Temple in DC, the George Washington Masonic Temple? Go inside of that temple. It's open. Go inside of it and go on one of those tours, and you'll see the kooky stuff they teach, and you'll see the kooky stuff they believe in. And some of it is borrowed from different religious groups, and the Moors are one of them that clung on to that kind of kooky concept, and they do the same thing in their own little way. But it's all nutty, man. It's all nutty.
Yeah, nigga, I don't know what the future holds, but I know it ain't gonna have nothing to do with these biblical narratives that people be on YouTube talking about. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh,
know
it's here
it's
to
gonna be
stay, brother.
survival.
The biblical, the Abrahamic literature is here to stay. They have the game on lock. 1 billion Christians slash Catholics, 1 billion Muslims. You know what I'm saying? What we need to do is to have our own thing going on. And just for the record here, I really recommend that people watch that video here, the session of Asiatic Black Men. But let's hear Elijah Muhammad say that he was a Mason. Let me put the volume up.
Masons were known, Nick, that he was once a Mason.
Once I was a Mason too. Until I became a Muslim, I was a Mason.
So that was for the record. Indeed, Freemasonry was big at the time, and people were trying to get over there, but they had to pay. And Elijah Muhammad talks about that. They had to pay to get some degrees and stuff like that. Now I don't think they really have to pay, but back then people had to pay. So it was like kind of like a pyramid scheme, Ponzi stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's just like a private group, and they get to pick who the members are. If you're cool and somebody that's a member says that this new person is cool, then you get to come into the group, and the group protects themselves, control certain kind of industry. If you live in a small town, for example, they will make plans to decide who the police chief is, who's going to own the first gas station. They'll all support that person.
Yeah.
She build a little shit like that, but it doesn't make their belief of being close to God or the king real.
The architect.
The architect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't have it, they're literally claiming to be connected way back to the pyramids. All of them.
Yes, feel free.
Yeah, so what do you think about Aleister Crowley? Because Napul just wrote Drew Ali used to hang out with him.
Well, that information I'm not familiar with, but Aleister Crowley, I don't know much about him, but he was like into what we call the occult. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh well, I was he the one who was cool with the guy who created the Satanic Bible? Because I'm not sure about the chronology. You know what I'm saying? But that wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me. But it's like Europeans. You know what I'm saying? Who are not really Abrahamic like that, being into those things. I think, the discovery in Egypt, the mentions of alchemy, and, people are into, it's like the UFO age before the UFO footage, you know what I'm saying? So some black folks, the Theosophical Society had some influence with Blavatsky, and Blavatsky, she was cool or following the teachings or some of the teaching of Aleister Crowley. But honestly, I'm not too familiar with this thing. Whenever I hear occult, there's something that's not down, like an African stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
not showing
you
it's a chain. It's all a chain, like all these crazy concepts and things. These people just
man, I went into the George Washington Masonic Temple and went on a tour there. And I found out that George Washington rolled dice, and I looked at these dice, and these dice were made out of bones, cow bones, and they had little numbers on them and stuff like that. And it just popped in my head, and I just said, what the hell is the difference between this and a witch doctor somewhere off in Africa in the bush throwing some animal bones? What's the difference? There's no difference. There's no difference. It's just a game. A game of chance. You roll the bones. Some of the numbers going to come up, but people try to make the numbers make it real.
Ain't no game to them.
Yo, no,
they
but
live
once you
and
realize,
die about this, man.
Listen, but once you realize George Washington is doing the same shit niggas do every day in the alley, it kind of puts perspective on shit. You see what I mean? It's like they're all just throwing bones. It's just a game. It's not to be taken past that game, and because the people are rich that are doing it, doesn't make it any less of just a game. It's just fancy dudes dressed up doing it.
Only the followers that think it's real, because A lot of them stuck on stupid.
listen,
Because
once you realize,
for stupid,
listen,
because
once you realize,
for you to be following people to begin with, be
exactly.
following any other man to begin with is an issue.
Look,
if you don't have your own mind and logic for yourself, you know what I mean, to be your own man, and all these cults and
hey,
groups and
in the 1700s, it looked smart and intelligent and deep. In 2023,
you're right.
you have to laugh at it. There's no person today that would not. I mean, any intelligent person today would look at what these Masons believed in the 1700s, and they would laugh at it because we're so much further ahead as human beings now. You see it. You know, you can clearly see it. I mean, you know, George Washington wore clothes that could be considered to be looking like what modern day pimps try to dress up like. High heel boots. I mean, what the fuck? You know, it's really weird shit, dude. It's nothing. The guy liked clothes.
More like tranny.
Look, he liked clothes, man. He had wooden teeth. He rolled dice. George Washington. Look, you know how he died? He died because he had a sickness that they thought in those days all you had to do was let enough blood out of his body and you could get the sickness out. That's how he died. You see, and people worship these people because they were Masons. But the Mason shit was just as kooky. If you go inside of the temple and you see what they believe, they have it written on the walls and you look at it and you just have to laugh at it. But there's people that copy it and emulate it. You see, it's just mumbo jumbo, man. I'm just telling you, it's mumbo jumbo. And if you think it's anything else but an average gang, then you're crazy. Average gang members know how to keep secrets. Average gang members know how to do it.
One thing about me too, I don't want to hear no grown ass men telling no stupid spooky fairy tale story, nigga. Show and prove, you know what I'm saying? Bring that nigga in front the world and have him shift change. That's how you do things. If other than that, just shut the hell up, bro. You sound like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the problem with the world. Everybody sit down and listen to stupidness, just like they did back in the day with Farrakhan wanna be white ass. You know what I'm saying? Like when you sit down and let people just say stupidness out their mouth, it becomes a trend. It's the same thing with rappers flossing money on YouTube with their chains. Everybody let people do it. It becomes a trend. And now people getting robbed, people getting followed, people getting whatever they post. That's how some of them even got killed because they posting where they going. It become a trend. Now people stop it now because they see people dying. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with this biblical narrative and these platforms and these stupid fairy tale stories. You know what I'm saying? When you let
religious
people
stuff,
do it, when you let
all
people,
the same thing. It's masonry
like
too.
Farrakhan and York and them to get away with it, and people follow it. Now they think they have the right to come out here and talk stupidness. Like, nigga, you do some shift changing. If not, just shut the hell up, man. Nobody want to hear that.
Yeah,
Nonsense.
that's some kooky shit.
Like real talk. Like, and like, why would you? And people there, what you say? Wait, say that again? Nah, nigga, get your stupid ass. What you smoking on? That's what you should have asked him. Because it don't make no sense, bro. For people to just think they could just come out and say these things, and people don't laugh at them or shame them, you know? Until you can show one prove, I don't want to hear it.
Let's hear from my sister Andrea Bennett. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing well. How are you guys? It's good to see y'all out here again. Yeah. I just wanted to say, with regard to the guy saying that black ain't this and black ain't that, I bet you if he commits a crime, they're going to say that black dude. They ain't going to say, they don't know he's Moorish. They don't know where he's from. They're going to say that black dude. Right? Yep. People need to stop getting hung up on a particular word.
Don't know the difference between a caller and a group of people that's categorized as such.
Mm-hmm. And as a fair skin, I love me some non-fair skinned men. Okay, so stop it. I mean, it's so stupid. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's semantics. That's what it is.
Well, I guess because he's fair skinned, he feels he's not black.
No,
But
it's
you
not. No, it's
know,
not because of that. It's not because of that. Because you know how some Moors who are not fair skinned. It's all due to their doctrine ideology. They're trying to validate it, and it's really like it was said earlier. Depending on the time period and the location, they may have used more. And brothers and sisters, feel free to hit them with this
and,
question. Can you just
and
show me? Hold on, please. Can you just show me some Moorish person? It's best to say ruler, but okay, just say.
and
Show me some Moorish ruler.
it's
Hold on, please.
clearly a difference between Italian, uh, European, African, Black Caribbean. It's clearly a difference in their color, their genes, their culture, their whatever. So you could, so I mean, if he's what he's trying to say, like everybody just used to be everybody. When he say there, like saying like the color, the black does, or the name black doesn't exist, or saying that black people don't exist. It's saying like everybody's the same,
No,
and we clearly see
the
that
Moors,
that's
the
not
you know
true.
Moors
what?
like him, they have this thing where they say the word black comes from the word bleach, that they're connected. They have this particular philosophy that's totally twisted. So that's why they don't use the word black. They believe that we're like the real white people
He
and that
sound
the others. It's twisted.
They were white people, huh?
he sound like
They-
my he sound like my neighbor the other day when they say, I don't see color. I'm like, oh, so all of us are white then? Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, so then you see color then. Well, what I'm saying, okay, stop it. You see color and you need to acknowledge you see color because
No,
I'm not
but
your
It's the
color.
same thing like
Yeah.
Chief X talking about systemized racism don't exist. You know what
look,
I'm saying? It's like it's the same
no.
old weak
The reason
point.
why
You
the reason
notice he
why it
never
doesn't
came
make
back when we dealt with that. Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
no, the reason why it doesn't make sense is because you're dealing with a person that knows damn well what black is, who's
Mhm.
claiming to not know it. That's why it doesn't make sense and doesn't want to be called it. That's why it doesn't make sense. So
All
you
right.
have to ask yourself, what does that have to do with the Moors philosophy? It
Hey,
has a
if
lot
it
to do with the Moors philosophy because Moors were not necessarily the ones not enslaving black people. That's what it has something to do with.
if it
I
did
mean, it's
exist,
not
they
like the
wouldn't be
Moors were
fighting
not
to be something
enslaving
else.
black people. Moors were enslaving African people. And that's why they have this twisted way of looking at it. And it's not just Moors. Sephardic Jews had something to do with the caliphates also, you see, and then they switched over and became converts. Moors and Jews became, many of them became
But
converts to Christianity and came to America. So it has everything to do with this thing about slavery. So they don't want to
Shaka,
call themselves black
so
for
there's
that
no
reason.
records of Mars or as far as civilizations or like kings and queens or as in history as far
Oh,
as you know.
Look, kings and queens came from towns and ethnic groups, and Moors is
No,
not an
I'm
ethnic
just
group.
saying, we
It's
have
like
records for everything, you know what I'm saying? So how they exist within existence without existing, if you
but
understand what I'm saying.
that's why I like to use the term ruler because you had different kings at the time, and but the Moors, they were not really dealing with kings like that because they were Muslims, so they would have
They sound like
some
rebels.
some no, like they would have like it was said that like the caliphate, caliphs basically, as rulers, um, but that's why I've been asking for years, can you show me a black Moorish ruler? Can you tell me what his title is? I mean, and of course, his name, his title, and the territory that he ruled over. You see, and you can also hit them with, well, show me some black Moorish ruler, or let's say some Moor that
Yeah,
call himself a Moor, or that call
exactly.
another black person a Moor,
Or
because they
whoever
reach.
are more.
Well, it's best, because they like to say, well, no, Africa is a European term. It comes from Scipio Africanus. But guess what? More is a European term too. So they're picking and choosing. You know what I'm
Moor
saying?
is
Right.
even more
You know what?
European.
Yeah, you know what? If black didn't exist, why are they trying to be every people trying to be something other than? You see what I'm saying? Like
But you know, when they talk about black, they're talking about the English word. So they say, oh, black didn't exist back in the day. So basically, it's like you go on Webster and you look at the first attestation of the word black, and I don't know, maybe it'll be, I don't know, 14th century. Let me just do it now. And that's what they're arguing, that this
Oh,
word
okay,
didn't exist then.
melanin then,
But that's the English language.
nappy hair,
Because
curly hair.
like in Arabic, which is older than English, you do have the word for black, and it is aswad or sauda, you know, the masculine and the feminine
Exactly.
form of it. And in Medu Neter, we did have kem, which actually means black, you know. So that they are
There's many words that mean black. But many languages got the word
in
black
many
in it.
languages,
You
but
know.
they are stuck on the English, you know what I'm saying? Because that word appears at a certain point of time. So I don't see any date right now on Webster, but you know, maybe on Cambridge they will give us a date. But that's what they are doing. That's what when they say, oh, black didn't exist then, you know what I'm saying? Or some people will say, oh, black race is a social construct. I'm like, are you goddamn kidding me? You know, like a white dude is gonna live in an area populated by black folks. He's gonna speak Ebonics and dress like black people dress, and then we're gonna say he's black. You know, that's ridiculous. But that's their talking points. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
He's white chocolate.
like Eminem.
Yeah,
He's white
chocolate. Yeah,
chocolate.
yeah,
He
white
be
chocolate.
always white,
You know,
regardless of how much he rap. You know,
I mean,
Yeah,
when
then
you walk down the street, a policeman see a white boy. When you walk down the street, he gonna see a black man, regardless if both of us you rap.
It's part of science and it's part of human nature to label things. You know,
yeah.
so it's just like it's ridiculous to think that these things don't exist. The problem is that it's not the terms that are bad necessarily. It's not, you know, the categorizations, because people can use them in different ways. You can use them to generalize, and then you can also have more specific terms if you need to go deeper. So you don't have to worry about people being labeled black or white or any other thing. The issue is how we try to add negatives to them, you know, to add that to what a black thing is. That's where the problem becomes. And the main people that now try to say don't use the word black, it's a political social construct. Those main people come from nations that oppress black people. So it's just ridiculous, you know. I always have this saying, you know, black people know black people best. We know what black is. Just because you don't doesn't mean we don't. We know what dead black bones look like, dead black mummies. We know the difference between a light skinned and dark skinned black person. We know all the nuances because we're black.
And they
It's
only
like, you
do
know, it's
that.
just simple of it. You know, it's just
Yeah,
simple.
they only do that because of their ideology. It's all because of
exactly.
what they trying to be. It be like people don't get it, you know, like, and they all have an agenda, regardless of which one it is, biblical or non-biblical, and they all trying to write themselves in history just like their slave master did. You know what I mean? So it's
The-
it go ahead.
It's cultural appropriation. And notice when I ask about names of rulers, he didn't give any, but he said, "Oh, there's plenty. I wrote this book, this book," but he didn't give any names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
He said this person
also,
wrote this book, that person wrote this book, but
yeah,
he
but
didn't give you
that's
no
what they like
ruler.
to do. You ask them simple questions, and they're gonna, you know, talk and mention books and mention this. And also, when we talked about the census, I was like, oh no, hold on, no, whatever. I choose. Okay, you can choose what you want, but black is one of the option in the census, so it is recognized by the United States government. Because those guys, they like to talk about the law. They read the Black Laws Dictionary and then they do the etymology. But the United States recognize black. You know what I'm saying? That when the police will look for somebody, they will say, "We're
Yeah.
looking for a Caucasian mayor. We're looking for a
Yeah.
black mayor." You know what I'm
When you
saying?
fill out the
So
application, it's optional, but it's white, black, Hispanic, or other. You know what I'm saying?
they don't put
So
more. I mean,
no, you
he
don't
can
see
write
no
more if
more.
he wants.
You don't
Yeah.
see no Asiatic, no Hebrew, no Israel, no none of that. So all that, like I told you, they live in a fairy tale and they will die living their fairy tale. It's not them alone. You know, some people have a issue to push, but some people just do it because of their belief and it makes them feel comfortable, you know. So I don't
Yeah.
take that away from them. If it make you a better person, so be it. You know what I'm saying? Because we came from that. The majority of our parents or grandparents used to follow some kind of religion, you know what I mean? But not
And
to the point that they trying to disrespect or disown that they are black or they are roots from Africa, or that, you know, separate themselves from other people from the different countries or whatever the case may be. And that's what these new generation, so-called smart, so-called, they have the knowledge now that their grandparents didn't have. All but look at how they act and they behave and their ignorance. At least, you know what I mean, your grandparents had principles and morals, you know, and that's when it get out of hand, you know what I'm saying? That's why black people can't come together, because their agenda is more important than who they are. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and notice too, they know what they're doing. Let's say angel food cake and devil food cake. They know what they're doing. In the dictionaries, they know how to define. They know black is a term because that's what they want to label us, because they want to say we're the bad people and they're the good people. We're darkness, they're light. We're it's this contrast of the white is good, dark is evil. That's all that is. It's just like you guys said, it's a word salad to make themselves be put in a better light. When I was
Yeah.
talking with my neighbors the other day, again, he's like, well, I don't judge people by their color. I judge them by their character. I said, you don't know my character, but you see my color first. So that's not a good, so I know you guys like to use Martin Luther King as your standard of saying whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, the first thing you see about me, because you don't know me, is my color. And you can't sit here and tell me that you're not going to judge based upon that first before you get to know me. You can't tell me that. He says, well, you can do reverse discrimination because you can do the same thing about me being white. I'm like, yeah, but typically we're not gonna, call you a thug and all this other kind of stuff. But that thought will cross your mind. When it comes to us, you will label us whatever you can, because that's just convenient for you guys to do that. So, and he's like, they're just. I said, look, if you guys want to have this conversation, I will have it. We're not going to skip and around the tulips. We're going to jump in the bush and I'll have this conversation because I'm not afraid to. I said, but you guys keep trying to make a parallel to stuff that you can't, because you will never understand what it's like to be black around the world, not even just here in America. You will never understand that. We are constantly under the microscope and the macroscope of all of what's going on in the world. And doggone well, we're not the problem. We don't make policies. We don't do all that stuff. You guys do all that. I said, so stop trying to play the game that you act like you don't know what's going on. You have no idea. And until you do, I'm the best person for you to come talk to, because I will keep it real. I don't have time to be beating around the bush with you guys. You should know better. You're older than me and you should know better. But it's the same all the time. Same conversation.
So yeah, you said that in the metadata it has the word black, right?
Yes, Kim.
Which they used to identify as their self, because
yes, they used
so
it to
that means
describe
it
themselves
wasn't,
as an
yes,
adjective.
Europeans didn't create the word, just like the
No, not at all. It was
alphabetical
Africans who created the
mathematics
word.
or science or whatever, they didn't create it. So people like to give them too much credit for everything. That's one thing. Number two, when the color black became a color, because I want to know, when did ancient people have cloth? Did they have different colors as, like, in modern time, or was it like a what did they use? Did they use like
When
trees,
it's
like
They use it the same way.
wood,
well,
wood?
in Spanish you have negro, you see, and that's from
Mm-hmm.
negro that we get, the famous N word, But in English you do have negro as well, and from negro we have the famous N word, and negro means black. But the funny thing, I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I have a friend of mine, a childhood friend actually, who was with a lady from the West Indies. Well, she was biracial. Dad was from, if I'm not mistaken, Martinique, so he was a black guy, and her mother was white, and she was a Spanish teacher. And she told me, and people can verify, anybody that speaks Spanish or that's familiar with Spanish people. Now, maybe they use it more in Spain than in Latin America, because the Spanish is not exactly the same. Like for example, I know that in Spain they would say "que pasa," and but in Latin America they would say "que paso." So it's the same language, but just some variants. negro or negrita, it will be used as a term of endearment. So a non-black lady, could be labeled as, negrita, something like that. But once again, I'm not fluent in Spanish, so some people have to verify, and if I'm wrong, then I have to get to catch that L. I have to take that L. So yeah, we had different languages with that word. I mean, the whatever word in their language that means what we call black in English, noir in French. But then again, they are playing on the date of the first attestation of the word in English. But English is not such an ancient language. You know what I'm saying? So mainly what they are doing is semantics. That's what they are doing. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
because they're trying to insist that people didn't have a need for labels before that. And it's like people have been at war with each other. People don't like each other. They don't like some people and they like other people. Some of the times those people look like each other and sometimes they don't. It's about differences, being able to describe things and being able to communicate things to people. So to insist that there was no word or no need for black people to even call themselves black is just dumb, because everybody on earth doesn't look like us. There's multiple different kinds of people. So how do you point that out? I'm not talking about the one that looks like us. I'm talking about the one that looks like the other type. How do you express that if you don't have a word for yourself?
And
The
and
people that look like you, it just doesn't make any sense,
what's funny? He talked about the term Ethiopian. At one point, I think he said, "Well, we are all Ethiopians," but now we know Ethiopia like burn face. You know what I'm saying? That's what the translation will be. But at one point, I was trying to tell him that the Greeks, they came up with the term. That we have melanin that comes from the Greek, melanos, and Herodotus is very famous for using that term to describe some people. So there is that root, melanos or whatever, but that starts with melanes or melanos. I think it's melanes. That actually translate as black, and some PhDs will translate it as such. I think I shared that in my community timeline. I think it's a Tufts University, but yeah, and that's before the English language. You know what I'm saying? So there's no need to trip at all. Really, really, it's
So they're in denial.
They are.
They're in
They are in
denial
denial.
because of their own history of anti-black racism. So they're the ones that have this need to not live in this sphere anymore where they're identifying as black, but it's fake.
Yeah, they just try to escape their reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that won't change the history. That won't change what you did, and it won't change the future. It's like, and that's what they're trying to do, to deny their history. And when Arab people do it, it's the same thing. But that's what they're doing in the scientific community now when dealing with Kemet, by trying to not label Kemites as black, and trying to insist that they need to stay away from this idea of white and black. It's like, no, you don't, because you know what black is. And when you look at these pictures, you can easily see that they would fall under that classification, right?
Yep.
So why would you stay away from it? Just like there's some that are lighter, there's some that are dark. Why would you stay away from it? So you're going to stay away from it. But it's not based on the fact that the Kemites didn't use these terms themselves. It's not based on that at all. So it doesn't make any sense. The Kemites, they got plenty of derogatory terms for other people they don't like. They have terms for everything.
Let me say something real quick, Bennett, right? Because to my understanding, I don't know how people look at things, but you have to be realistic and you have to have common sense, and when I hear people saying, because they like to classify themselves like everybody else, like everybody does do the same thing. And I always hear these Hebrews and whoever Moors or whatever like to say, show me how you, hold on, I come in. Show me how you are Egyptian or that you Kemet. You know what I mean? And me personally, I would never say I'm Egyptian or I'm Kemet. Like, I'm not even from there. I wasn't born there. What we taking things from Kemet because they left the most from ancient civilizations, which is the whole world stole from in order to develop what they are today. So everybody took from them. So in saying that, we identify with them because we know our roots is from that motherland. All black people, regardless of how they feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Even some people that don't even identify as black, their lineage still come from them genes. That's why they have melanin in their skin. But in saying that, yeah, we take the teachings and lessons from ancient Kemet, but nobody can claim that they are Kemet or Egyptian. So when I hear people say, "Oh, they are Egyptian priests," like, you know, and they this and they that, and to hoodie them with the, you know, all this showmanship type thing, or you have to dress this way, and you know, it's just like the malls and the ISUPK, and they have the fashion that come with it. It's like a female thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go there because you see,
I should have better know what I'm talking about.
no, because you know, if you want to check on the on the clothing style,
Oh, God.
Muslims do that. Oh, why? You know what? Why do you think they wear the jalaba or hijab? You know what I'm saying? It's
Hold
like,
on,
yeah.
Shaka.
Mhm.
Why you cut me off? Just because it's Kevin, don't get in your feelings now. All I'm saying is,
Do I look like I'm in my feelings?
all I'm saying, bro. Like, I just think, like, is let me ask you something. So, you really think Jabari is a commission priest? Does that exist?
Well, I would say no because he's cool with being on a panel with child
Yeah,
molesters.
and it's
Right?
just it's
But
just
for
another
that, and he doesn't stand on his own standard because he said that Polite should be on timeout. But
facts,
you know,
facts, facts. But
he's trying
but
to follow the Kemetic tradition. You know what I'm saying, to the best of his ability. But you know why
so you
what? Go ahead.
so you saying all that was in Kemet tradition, or is he not following the myths of Kemet
Well,
tradition?
besides the myth, you know, in this book here, this PhD talks about the punishment for rapists, and you know, it talks about castration. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that they will not be on the panel with a rapist. You know what I'm saying? They will
But
punish the
okay,
rapist.
that's real. But that's what I'm getting at. That is real. You know what I mean? You could actually do that to a man. But I'm saying all the extra things, they have a lot of things that these guys into, and it's myths, and they trying to play it out in reality and call themselves this and that. It's just another belief to me. They're just like any other religion when you take it there. And I agree with Reggie on that when it comes to Jabari, Tahuti. Even Tahuti were having discussions with Jabari.
But Reggie is pseudo.
Um,
Reggie is really pseudo. It's like
Chaka, I'm not saying that he's not, but everybody has their point, regardless. You know, even the
okay. So
one you don't
what's the
like.
point then? What's the point?
The point is, Tahuti was trying to convince Jabari that the myths of
Oh, okay, I get it.
ancient
Yeah, the
Egypt
name of
is
the
real.
god, like he was trying to say, the gods were human beings, and they were talking
Yeah,
about the cartouche. Yeah,
exactly.
I remember that. But the thing is that you know you can have names of gods in the cartouche. Like Amenhotep, for example, Akhenaten's father. Actually, the person that I have behind me,
Uh-huh.
he's known as Amenhotep the third. The
Hmm.
third, they didn't use that. We use that, you know, to identify them because there were more than one. But he's the father of Akhenaten, you know, and the grandfather of King Tut. If King Tut is not
And that was
Akhenaten's
pharaohs.
brother. But come again?
That was the pharaohs, right?
Yeah, they were pharaohs indeed, and
Yeah.
Amenhotep the third is one of the most powerful pharaoh that Kemet ever had. You know what I'm saying? One of the most powerful.
Hmm.
So um,
He was
you are.
considered a priest.
I don't know, but some pharaohs will be actually considered high priests. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Well, they
I have
have.
that. I have that in my notes somewhere. You know,
Well, that's a
but
that's a pharaoh. That's a pharaoh in their time. You know what I'm saying? That's a different
yeah, but just before that,
circumstance.
you were asking. I forgot the question you asked. Before I started talking about Amenhotep the third, I actually lost my thought.
Was it about
Uh,
Jabari
oh yeah, I
being a
remember now.
real
Thank you,
Kemet priest?
thank you. Now, see, Amenhotep, that's his name. So Amen, Imen, uh, um, will be translated as the hidden one. That's basically the name of a god, and Hotep will be translated as satisfied or appeased. So the name Amenhotep means Amen or Amun is satisfied, or
Okay,
Amun is
I
at peace.
understand that.
So,
I
so we do
understand where
have the
you're
name,
coming from.
and that's what Jehuti was trying to do. Look, we have that name in that cartouche. Now,
Yeah.
exceptionally, it's possible that you may have some name of deities alone in a cartouche. It doesn't mean that they were real human beings. So that was a discussion that they had. You know what I'm saying? You know. But yeah, they did have myths. I agree with you, brother Young Hero. In Kemet, they did have myths. Indeed, they did have religion. But we usually, I mean, I personally focus more on the history than the religion and the myth. But you know, this is reality. Why the Muslim can have myth, Christians can have myth, the Jews can have myth, the Hindus and Buddhists can have myths,
I'm
where
not
we can
saying no,
have myth.
no. I'm not saying they can't have, but I'm just saying that's just what it is. You know what I mean? And you're right. It's just the same. It's the same thing. So everybody could do the same thing, but to me, it's the same belief. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it comes down to. There's nothing wrong with doing. Yeah.
Mhm. And then again, when we talk about the clothing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can look at different Asian cultures and they would dress, and I mean, even like in Scotland, for example, you know, they wear the kilt, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they are close to their tradition, so they still do it till this day, you know. So it's not that ancient, but you know, they still do it. And in Asia, you know, they have festivals, have celebration, and they will dress in a traditional way, you know. And in Africa, you know, many people still wear the traditional clothing, but in big cities they tend not to. And as time goes on, then you know, we may lose those things if we don't put value on those things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the reality is that I like the statement you made when they like to say, well, you know, prove that you're from Egypt, prove that you're Kemetic yourself. I mean, most of us who follow the Kemetic tradition, we don't claim that, you know.
Yeah.
Most people talk about Kemetic, we don't claim to be descendants of Egypt at whatever time period. It doesn't mean that none of us could be. They move, they spread. So who knows? But it's not the claim that we make. But then if we ask them, can you prove that you are Israelite? The best thing they can do is talk about a 12 tribe chart, which is not scientific at all, which was made up at some point, and that's very recent, you know. So you know, if we apply the same methodology, you know, or the same standard, you know, well, they cannot prove that they are Israelites. I mean, we have those dudes like the white dude Katazar, you know what I'm saying? White dudes talking bad about black people, and then they claim that they are against white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? And during the weighing, I wanted to touch on that, but that Bicha Sanetta can be in a hole and wouldn't let me talk about that because he knew
I
what was
know.
going on. They
I
have
know
white
exactly.
dudes disrespecting black people. The dude disrespected Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Tupac wasn't until he came out of jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Tazi said it. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? So
he feel like he could speak on black people because they accept him as one of theirs.
because they accept him as one of them, because they're so desperate that they would take any people,
Anybody else than the 14-year-old that hungry and look like him.
anybody else except the African. And the funny thing is that they could be walking in the street and talk to some African. They won't know he's African until they tell them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So their
Exactly.
logic is just based on visual.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
based on science. It's not
Yeah.
based on ethnicity. It's not
Nope.
based on linguistic. It's just based on visual. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if Katazar, like, let's say they don't know Katazar, and he's just wearing a suit and he's working in Wall Street. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They will label him a Esau
Yep.
or what was the other term? Edomite. You know,
Edomite.
but the Katazar, you know, he has the dreads, he has the long beard or
Yeah.
whatever, and he
He
said, "Hey,
dress like
I'm
that.
Taino, I'm
Yeah. He
Latino."
talk
This,
like that.
hey, you
He
one
try
of
to
us.
act black.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just ridiculous. But that's the reality of our people. Scam Cheddar is promoting that foolishness, and then you know it's going to last for a while, unfortunately. But the sad thing is that some of our people, they wait for us, whether it's Kemetic tradition or Ifa tradition or Vodou tradition, they wait to see like 20,000 people. They want demonstrations, march with so many people. A lot of our people, that's how they are.
Yep.
They're looking for numbers. They're looking for
Crowd.
big
Yeah.
people. They,
Numbers.
they
Yep.
don't have like their integrity and dignity to say, okay, you know what? I see the evidence. I'll roll with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Most people on the planet Earth, they roll with their culture or tradition. And when I say their culture or tradition, it's like they look at what their ancestors did, what their forefathers did, and they're like, okay, this is the way we used to get down. We're gonna go this way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But black people, we are all over the place. Yeah,
Give
we are
me a
all over the
minute.
place.
Give me a minute. Let me call. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, feel free, brothers and sisters, if you have any questions or statements. But if you still have testimonies about levitation, astral projection, shape shifting humans, and alien abduction. And feel free, because man, I'm still in shock when I think about that. I mean, dang.
Yeah, I don't know, Shaka. I don't have much else to add, man. But I just some of these things, um, these issues, about fear of acknowledging blackness after, and fear, and also claiming to not know what it is, or claiming to not find it useful. It's just ridiculous, because you can't reverse those things without reversing all the other things that came with it. So, I mean, anytime you pick up a tool, you can use it for good or for bad, you know? So you can't just expect people that are black to just abandon the term black when it's been used against them in a socio-political manner. It just doesn't make any sense. And they shouldn't be asked to do it. And people shouldn't try to suggest that it's possible to live in a world where they don't, without reversing all the things that came with it, that were negative. If you find some negativity in it, in labeling things as such, you know, I just find that it's always like putting an extra burden on people that simply want to exist and we're happy with how they look already, you know, and just want to be left alone, essentially, to be who they are. So I just think it's sad when you see our own people playing into that, and making matters worse than they have to be. Basically working for the opponents of our own people. So it's just, they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're very stupid, or maybe we always just have people that need to be on the opposite side because they have self-hate. I mean, I think
But
some of it is that.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
some of them have self-hate, but I would say a fair bit of them don't. But they've been studying this stuff for 20 years, 30 years. Some of them been making a living out of it. Now they're realizing that it's not factual. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna have the integrity and admit, okay, well, that's not factual, that's not scientific, so I'll move to something else? Or would they be like, man, hey, that's how I make a living. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to learn new stuff, so I'm gonna keep on that thing, which is not update. Not only is not a, up to date, it's not updated information, but in the first place, it's just phony. It's just really, really phony. Those are European terms. It's not a nationality. You know what I'm saying? And I think it never has been a nationality, but today is for sure it's not a nationality. You know,
Nope.
and they were very big on that. And even though we have variations on in terms of ideology between the temple Moors and the non-temple Moors, but there it is. So they are kind of all over the place. They are lyrebird. Lyre is spelled Lyre. People can look it up. A lyrebird is a bird that imitates the sounds that he hears. So he will imitate a chainsaw. He will imitate other birds and other sounds that you have in the forest. They're very skilled. They're like parrots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's more about sounds rather than words, because parrots, we know, can pronounce words and sentences. You see, so they will talk about law. They will talk about treaties between America and Morocco. Some of them will talk about Atlantis, Mu and Lemuria. You know, and they
Huh?
will talk about religion, Islamism.
Atlantis.
Yeah, some most do talk about Atlantis, like it's a place that existed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feel free to ask, man. They are really all over the place. They are really all over the place.
I
A
guess
lot.
Asgard existed too.
Well, that's a belief that cannot be proven. How can somebody prove the existence of God? It's a belief.
No, I'm talking about the place Asgard, in Thor, the movie.
Come again, bro? Thor. Oh, I didn't watch that movie. I've watched some of
Oh,
the Marvel comics, but not Thor. But let me address Sugar
Yeah,
Hay.
the
She wrote,
first one.
"I'm trying to stop calling colors because my ancestors didn't classify themselves by colors. Well, in Kemet they classify themselves as color.
yeah,
They use the
that
color Kem to
exactly.
class to describe themselves. It doesn't mean that every
Oh,
single inhabitant of Kemet used that term, but it wasn't in use. It is part of the grammar.
Yeah,
It is
that
a
doesn't mean they
reality.
didn't have names they call themselves as well.
Come again?
But I'm saying that doesn't mean they didn't have specific names they call themselves. But as far as the color of their skin, it's clear to identify that is dark, it's brown, it's
No, but
shade.
they use that term cam. They use it's attested. It's written. They
Or
use that to describe themselves. But in
Whenever you see people, whenever you encounter people that are extremely different looking than you in color, then any social group would immediately begin to have words for that, for what that means, because it is something that doesn't come, that's not natural to them, to their space. So that shouldn't ever be a problem for people doing. It's a quick way to communicate.
Did they
If you
have
want to know who did this, we're talking about this one. Ah, that one. You see? And so you can't have a term for them if you don't have a term for you. It's just that simple, And
yeah, I know,
the
but I'm
problem
just
is
saying,
that,
Benny. I'm
yeah,
just saying that they did. Shaka is telling me that they did identify themselves as black people.
yeah.
I'm just saying they could have identified themselves with different names.
No, they did. They identified themselves in
well,
numerous
that's
rounded
not a
ways.
name though. That's not a
Eh,
name. That would be
Right.
more an adjective. But
It's not in
keep
a
going.
name. They still had
That's
many
what I
tribes.
mean. That's what
They
I
had
mean.
many tribes. But when
Yeah.
you're talking about a group of people that look very, very different from you in complexion,
Or it could be similar.
you need a term for that too. No, well, you could be similar, but then the word that they would use would be to denote something else that's different. You see? But
Yeah,
if it
but I'm
was
saying they could have been calling themselves that before they even have to do such thing as denote another race.
they
Yeah,
could
yeah,
be doing that too.
it's
That's
possible.
true
It's
too.
possible. But
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
still
man.
have that word that translates as black. That means black. You know what I'm
But
saying?
it also doesn't mean that they didn't have other words to denote, this one's black, but they're from this tribe, or this one is also Kim, but they're from this tribe. It doesn't mean that they only had one word way to describe people through
Yeah.
color. They
That's
have
right.
multitude of words
Yep.
that have, and that's the thing about it. So now they're just trying to remove another tool, oh, so now you shouldn't use color. Well, people have been using color to classify things since the beginning of time. So why is it that you don't want this group of people to use color now? It's like there's nothing wrong with using color. The problem is when you think one is superior and another is inferior. That's the problem when you start assigning that kind of class to it, you know. And so, but if you're just talking about what did these group of people look like, well, Egyptians look like typical Africans. Typical Africans are called black. That's what they're called. That's what they've always been called. That's just part of it. Typical Europeans have been called white. That's what they've been called. Typical Asians have been called yellow. That's what they've been called. And if you don't like the terms, it's not good enough to say remove the terms. You have to remove the negative things that came with those terms that you assign to those terms, but you will still always have those colors because anytime you look at a table that has the same color as you, Heru, they're going to need a term for that. That's all it is. So the people that look like that, that's what they didn't just name people that color. Like they say, they named the land that color too. They name anything that looked that way, that remotely close to it, they might assign it that name. So it's just a natural thing that people do. But they try to say that our ancestors didn't use that. No, our ancestors use it. We just didn't use it out of prejudice.
Yeah.
There's a difference. We just necessarily weren't prejudiced because of these kind of terms.
If
How other
anything,
people use them is different.
it was the opposite, if anything.
Right.
And here I can show an example. That's a PhD called James P. Allen. He's very famous in Egyptology. As you can see, the book is entitled Middle Egyptian, an introduction to the language and culture of hieroglyphs. That's the third edition. And if I'm not mistaken, it's on page 9. And we're going to see Page 9. Oh no. So which page is it then? It's page 5 actually. So you see here, page 5. Hold on. Actually, that is sharing indeed. Yes, indeed. So here. Okay. So you have page 5 here. All right. And I'm looking for the translation. Okay, I get it. Now, this is the part here. Henenit Kem. This is the I6 glyph. Gardiner reference I6 Kem. Now look at the translation now. Here, statue of the courtier, overseer of priest, Henenit the Black. Literally, it's Henenit Kem, but in English, we will add the particle. I'm sorry, the article the. So here it says Henenit Kem, and who wrote Henenit the Black? Is James P. Allen, PhD. Now, it starts. Hold on. If I go to the previous page, it says, for example, on the offering table picture below, one inscription begins at the top. No, is it the full page here? Oh, there it is. So, in the scene reproduced below, coming from Mayor V, plate 18, and the irony is that Mayor, this is a work by someone called a scholar called Blackman. He's not a black dude, but his name, ironically, is Blackman. But anyway, that's a reference. Mayor 5, plate 18. The man on the left is a sculptor. On the right is a seated statue he's working on. Above the sculptor's head are 2 rows of hieroglyphs facing right, which identify him as overseer of sculpting Ichu. The 3 rows of hieroglyphs above the statue read, statue of the courtier, overseer of priest, Henry the Black. And they face left like the statue itself. So there you have it. Now, if we look at the credentials of James P. Allen, then you just need to see here. Then I put James. That's not the only time where you have,
He could have
Chem.
created a name Black Man, brown skin.
Come again?
No, the depiction.
Yes.
I say they could have put some color on it.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because they like to do the line drawings. So when they will draw the facial feature, they will make it very, very conventional,
Right.
But if you see the actual pictures, the older it is, the more Negroid the features are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're very slick with those line drawing.
Right.
Before I used to think, it's probably because of it may play a part, the authorization, to have the pictures, to use a picture, it will cost money. But I think a lot of time, somehow, somewhere for some people, it is convenient. But here, when it comes to the credentials, here you have Brown's University. So I can share that in the chat. And on Brown's University, it says James P. Allen received his PhD from the University of Chicago. Before joining Brown in 2007, Professor Allen was an epigrapher with the University of Chicago's Epigraphic Survey, Cairo director of the American Research Center in Egypt, and curator of Egyptian art at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. From 2008 to 2015, he was president of the International Association of Egyptologists. So, I think that speaks volume. And then, of course, we have the entry on Wikipedia, and there we just, talk about all this background. But I don't read the whole thing.
Shaka.
But yes, brother.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, but I think you kind of explained it already with the whole it has 47,000 characters in the metadata.
No, that's too much. Not 47,000.
40,700 or something. I can't remember, but
no,
we have 26 in the alphabet. So how they that was another concept Pharaoh came up with.
Yeah,
Jabari kind of killed it too because he showed how, like, just how you say the 3 different languages is one and the same. So Diok used like different like the Coptic and Heretic in order to decipher some of the Meduneta.
Now, this is an argument that some people use. They say that in our alphabet we have 26 letters, and indeed we do have, like for the Middle Egyptian, Claude Observer, for example, I think he talks about 800 glyphs. But how many glyphs in total? I have video actually. It's a PhD called Fisolo, an Egyptologist, PhD in Egyptologist. Did it mention 5,000 or 8,000? Let me try 5,000. But you have variations, see? So it's not different ones, but just variation. I think it may be 8,000. But to make the long story short, we do have the Chinese and the Japanese. In the Japanese language, they have so many symbols, so many signs. They have hundreds. You know what I'm saying? One could make that same argument, or some may say, well, the Japanese is still spoken, so we know, okay, they speak it for sure. But those glyphs, there are some glyphs who stand for phonetic values, and some glyphs like one sound, and some glyphs that stands for like two sounds that we call bilingual, and glyphs that stand for three sounds, and a few that stand for four sounds. So it doesn't matter. It is indeed a language that is spoken today, and that survives, like you said, Young Hero, with the Coptic. So I mean, honestly, at this point, like I said, for a long time, I don't know of a single PhD that ever claimed that the Medunetcha has not been deciphered. And just like those people, just like those people were kind of invalidating the importance of a PhD just because Pookie from the corner or Tyrone from the corner, in this instance, he is called Walter Williams. I mean, I'm trying to be diplomatic, man, but this is really, and this is only on Scam Cheddar's panel that you see that, because I remember Scam Cheddar, that dude was talking to somebody, said, but you can, it hasn't been deciphered or something like that. I actually made a video about it. I played it, you know what I'm saying? The most dumb statements and claims.
Not on Scam Cheddar channel alone. There's a lot of people that try to say that because they have
but they get that from Walter Williams.
It's true.
The majority they get that.
That's where that revive. You don't think nobody didn't have that thought in their head before he spoke that? Nobody wasn't saying that.
No PhD, that's for sure.
He's not a PhD.
Dr. Walter Williams, no, not to my knowledge. If he's a PhD, he will tell us what PhD he had, what field it was, which university. I mean, yeah, I don't know where they get that from. If he was, he would have put that in his book, or he would have said it at some point.
So you don't think no PhD wouldn't say that just because of the census, right? They wouldn't be that dishonest to themselves.
Census, you mean consensus?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I never heard a single PhD who ever said, and that's regardless of the field, but because if we talk about Egyptology, they're not going to go against the field, I guess. But any field whatsoever, linguistics, history, anthropology, I never heard a single PhD saying that the Medunetcha has not been deciphered. And the funny thing is that when it comes to like the history of the Canaanites and stuff like that, a lot of time they will use Kemet, they will use the Medunetcha. You know what I'm saying? Some of them will make claims about different tribes in Yahweh, or the Israel Stela, the misnomer of the Meron Peta Stele. Oh, here it is, Israel written down. That's Medunetcha. Nana is cool to use it. The claim of Walter William is really irresponsible. It is pseudo. It is a shame. It is whack. And that's about it. That's about it.
And
I mean,
plus, check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out. How can you claim to know what the Egyptians called themselves if you can't translate the Medunetta anyway? I mean, that's the thing about it.
What you mean?
The dude greets by saying,
how do you know what Kemetic people thought of themselves in any capacity if you can't translate the Medunetta?
No, well, they be trying to separate the demonic and the heretic from the Medunetta. Like it's
I'm
not
sorry. Come again, please, young.
the other the Dramatic language and the other one was the other one.
Hariatic.
Heriatic, yeah.
I mean,
They
Hariatic.
trying to
Yeah.
separate it from the meta like its own spoken language.
Who tried to separate it?
Just people that come up that with the same concept that
Oh
it
yeah.
wasn't deciphered, that they
No,
trying to
it's the
say
same.
that
Well,
it's
they
a
are wrong indeed. It's the same language. It's three different writing styles or scripts. And here I can see Text
yeah,
Obama writing.
I would expect so. Like, you know.
No, it is the same language. It is the same language. Arabic, they have, of course, the Arabic script, but Arabic can be written with our Roman script or Latin script. You know what I'm saying? So, here, Tex Obama wrote, I thought Pharaoh made a good point that Jabari skated around. How can you ascribe 26 letter alphabet to 40? Well, I don't know who got the 47,000 character. That's probably young Pharaoh who got that out of somewhere. But, I would say 8,000 at most, but many variations. Some glyphs have variations. But anyway, nobody is ascribing 26 letters of the alphabet to to thousands of meta characters, or let's put it another way, nobody is ascribing thousands of or hundreds of hieroglyphic characters to 26 letter alphabet, because these Roman script that we're using, those 26 letters, that's very recent. You know what I'm saying? Humanity was there before the English language, before the Roman script, So for people to think, how do you do that? It's a question like, it's like me saying, how do you ascribe the 26 letters of our alphabet to the hundreds of symbols that they have in the Japanese language, or to the, I don't know how many symbols that they have in the Chinese language, or let's say the Chinese script or
They,
alphabet, quote unquote
they,
alphabet.
they would say that's a they would say it's a language that people spoke, so they know how to identify with the symbols.
Yeah, no, but the thing is that with the meta nature, there's no such thing as the Roman script or Latin script. So the 26 letters of our alphabet, you don't even need to worry about it with the meta nature. It's the same with the Arabic language. If you learn Arabic language, you don't have to worry about the 26 letters of our
True,
alphabet.
true, true,
You know what
true,
I'm saying?
true.
It's
Yeah.
as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And if we deal with the Greek, we don't have to worry about our script, even though many of our letters derive from the Greek. But before it derived from the Greek, it derived from the Phoenician, and before it derived from the Phoenician, it derived from the Meta Nature. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing also is that the script that we use derives from the Meta Nature, but people have the nerve to say that the Meta Nature has not been deciphered. You know what I'm saying? No, this like once again, don't take my word for it. Ask the PhDs, ask the linguists. Has the Meta Nature been deciphered? How do you feel about people who said the Meta Nature has not been deciphered? That's a pseudo claim for Walter Williams. He's not the only one who made that claim, but he's the most famous one who made that claim. But the dumb House of Consciousness, anything pseudo, it goes, anything for views, I mean,
But
if Scam Shatter doesn't get enough money or subscribers, or viewers, he will start shaking his behind or do whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? By all means necessary. But
And you
feel
know
free.
what? There will always be people that will you could have two English translators, two people that translate, let's say, French to English, and those two same exact people might translate it slightly different. They might use a variation of different words actually to come out to a very similar or same meaning, right? There may also be people that say, "Oh no, the translation should be slightly different than what it is, or could be more precise." But that's not the same as saying it hasn't been deciphered. You see
Shaka,
what I mean? So
yeah, I know you gotta go, but yeah, man, it's the same thing. It's like I was just thinking about something, and it's just like saying, how they have the scale on the Statue of Liberty, right? Is it on the Statue of Liberty? Why it is in the the how the Americans use the scale in the court, like judgment, and with the jury, and like, yeah, justice. So if you see that depiction, how do you know that's what it means? Because the American people, the people that run the justice system, told you so, right? And where did they get that from? You see what I'm saying? So it's going back to the depiction on the wall in Kemet with the scale and the feather and the hat and the whole balance. You know what I'm saying? So how did they know how did they know that's what it means? Because that's where they got it from. But you believe them when they tell you that's what it means now, right? So
But that's a
you
great
see where I'm
example.
coming from, right?
That's
So
that's
how
a great
did they
example.
know how that's what that means if it's not deciphered?
That's a great example. And here,
Yeah.
before I get back to that example, we have Wab Funk who wrote. Uh, um, there are PhDs that say it hasn't been fully translated. Fully translated doesn't mean anything much to me. You know what I'm saying? Because the name of God in Hebrew, most people say Yahweh. Some scholars argue it maybe have been pronounced Yahoo. So, like I said many times, even the name of God, they don't even know how it is pronounced, really.
There's
However,
so
but it
much
has been
names.
deciphered, and that's the most important. We're talking about the language that's like really 5,000 years old, at least. Now, that being said, Texas Bama wrote PhDs only know what they've been taught. Well, if PhDs only know what they've been taught, then we all human beings, only know what we've been taught. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't know if it's or maybe that was here. Okay. Um, we have the play symbol. It's a triangle. We have the stop symbol. It's a square. If there's a catastrophe, and then people see the square, they may be like, "How do you know it's a stop symbol?" If they study enough, they will realize that this means stop for us. That same play symbol, if you have it twice facing towards the one direction, it will mean fast forward. Facing towards another direction, it means backwards. Fast rewind. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's say something happens. People use another language. Um, some catastrophe happened. We don't have much audio or video evidence of the English language. We only have the writing. Now we know the word part, this part of the story or part one of the book, blah, blah, blah. But we do PT dot. We know that PT dot means part. It's an abbreviation, you see. But those people back then, some scholar may have worked that out, and they said, no, how can you say it means part? You were not there. You didn't hear. You were not there to listen to what they meant. You didn't know the meaning. You know what I'm saying? I see PT dot. If it's PT dot, why do you say part? It's just an analogy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like in English, the stuff for pounds. Isn't it like LBZ or something? Or LBS actually?
Yeah, LBS. Yeah,
How come it's pound? LBS. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean, at this point, we need to mature as a people, man. These claims about the Middle Nature not being deciphered. Why the Middle Nature will not be deciphered, but all these other ancient languages are
Yeah,
deciphered?
that's why
I mean,
I don't like Unk, but Unk came and he came on the show and called all of them pseudos. He was telling Javai, wait, what's
yeah.
the time with these pseudos, man?
Yeah, but Ankh Ankh in his vocabulary he has pseudo and scientific literacy. You know what I'm saying?
He
But
like
but
to use that word. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's Bobby Banger now. He spent like a, a good what, dang, nearly 2 decades, nearly 20 years of his life going by the name Ankh. And for some strange reason, he doesn't go by this name anymore. He has a right to change. Everybody's free to change. But I don't.
I
I
don't know.
remember what
Yeah.
I remember what Ankh slash Bobby Banger used to teach that we come from monkeys. I remember when Ngozi has put a picture of an ape and said, "This is my grandmother or grandfather." Now I'm saying they were deep with that teaching that we come from monkeys, and who knows, maybe science says so, maybe Darwin says so, maybe it's just a theory. Who knows? But to each his own, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the dude was an atheist. You know what I'm saying? You're a guy, you call yourself Unc and you're an atheist, and people in Kemet, they're all not atheists. But
That's
I
why
mean,
he tried to change his name now for people going
I
on
ain't
his
even
ass
tripping on
about it.
this dude, man. This dude, he's now he's xenophobic. He's rolling with pseudos. He's capping for a scammer called Garfield. He knows damn well Garfield don't have no goddamn bachelor's degree in history. He's capping for it. You know what I'm saying? He's on the panel that invites convicted child molesters I've never heard him criticizing that. Just like Jabari is cool with that. The Shrine of Ma'at is cool with that. And then we're gonna wait to hear from Professor James Mosley. He must be busy now, but we're gonna find out. But when the trial will happen, and if Polite is guilty and start singing, all those people will associate themselves, and they will act like all their lives they've been against child molesters. But then here, chopping it up on a panel that has child molesters as guests, as teachers of the community on a very regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Let alone the dude disrespecting people's children. See, before he talked about my daughter and accusing me of being inappropriate with my daughter, I've been playing several times what he said about Uncle Shoot's children. I didn't wait for him to say that about my children to be like, that's foul. I played many times when he said, F your son, your daughter, and also when he called the dude's mother a B, But those guys, they don't stand on principle, I mean, I don't pay them no mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Waste of time, these people.
Just looking at the comments. But I guess I'm gonna wrap it up anyway. I've finished recording the video with Sabia. I basically use my phone, the recorder on my phone. So I'm just gonna trim the last part. You know what I'm saying, and then upload it so people can see the convo that we had. So let's hear it from the brother Young Heroin V Bennett. We're gonna go clockwise. So feel free to make your closing remarks, brother Young Hero.
Yeah, man, this is what it is. Another day in the YouTube streets.
Yeah.
Like that I see, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, to each their own, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, to me, all of it is just come down to belief. It don't have no substance. It don't have no real effects on reality. When you go out there in the world, nobody ain't watching what you are, Mar, Jew, Hebrew. If you study Kemet, this, that, and the third, you know what I mean? Like said, he said, you gotta get up, you gotta get that dollar, you gotta survive, provide for your people, protect your people, and be ready for whatever the world throw at you. You know what I mean? And sooner or later, your time might be up. A lot of people that was here with you, went school with you, their time been up, and I know they wish they was here. So while you're wasting time, you know what I mean? It's all good to have knowledge, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Stop living a fairy tale, man. Stop living a lie. Stop disrespecting and going against each other just because everybody have their opinion, everybody calling themselves this and that. You know what I'm saying? If you're born in America, you're American. Regardless if you're born in America and you're black and you within the same neighborhood, same project, everybody hang out together, everybody's boyfriend is you, your surrounding is who you deal with. You know what I'm saying? So no matter where you come from, and we all have people that come from all over. Matter of fact, I think the first Americans came from the Caribbeans, you know what I mean? Because the black Caribbeans was slaving all over before they brought them here. But anyway, back to the topic. Yeah, I'm just saying, man, we need to just stop all the nonsense, stand up for what's right, and get back to reality and make these communications and bridges that we build have an outcome, there. Because to me, it's just useless. No matter what we think we're doing, we really ain't doing nothing. Look at what's going on in the streets. Look at the behavior of our teenagers. Look, not even our teenagers, the grown-ups, grandpa on them. Grandpa don't even have respect no more. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it says a lot, man. And that's what I expected. You know what I'm saying? Since I was young, when you seeing these men, 20 some, 35, 45 years old, acting the way they acting, you know that they ain't never gonna change. So they become grandpa and they never change, and their son pick up their habits, and it's gonna keep repeating itself. And yeah, so we gotta do better as people. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's it though. Go ahead, Shaka.
And that's what's up. We have to do better as a people. Brother, if you been, feel free to make your closing remark.
Yeah, I'm out, man. No closing remark today, man. Y'all be good.
Well, since I was so short, let me just take advantage here and just show what's available here. You do have the shirts here. I've put the link in the chat. It's right there. You do have the shirts. You have the Kemet shirts.
What
The
the
Hotep shirts.
discount is? Scam cheddar.
Oh well, we do have the scam cheddar stuff too. Scam cheddar, but I don't think many people are ready to wear that. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Nah,
I
nah,
am.
nah.
I am. I have the hat. I
Yeah,
have the
right.
mug. I have the hoodie as well. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if people want that, they can send an email. I give them the address. It is there. You know what I'm saying? But here you have my art shirts, Kemet shirt, different designs. You have a wide choice Kemet hat, Kemet with the words, Kemet with the glyphs on the bandana. What else do we have? We have the mugs. I have mine right here. The black one. I also have the white one. I've shown it many times. The white one is in the kitchen right now. That one has priority.
I know you ain't drinking tea all that time, Shaka. What you be
I
having?
don't usually drink tea. It's rare that I have it. When I'm sick, sometimes I can take it, but not tea.
You gonna drink coffee?
No, no coffee. No.
No.
Things that are addictive, I try to avoid. So alcohol, tobacco, drug, coffee. No, not for me. And
Yeah. You got too much going on. Whatever, Shaka.
yeah,
I'm gonna drink my coffee.
to each his own, man. And yeah, I'm in Ra hat, my forever hat, my art hat. Even have this fisherman hat. We have these shirts here. Now, different designs of my art and Kemet, V-neck shirts. You know what I'm saying? Different colors. You know what I'm saying? You have the windbreaker. You have the phone case. I'm in Rahat with different colors. You have the backpack. You have the other tote bag or toti. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. You have the Eye of Heru hat. You even have this brand new design right there. You know what I'm saying? Brand new design. I didn't even see that one actually. I'm discovering it now. No. Oh, here you have your effing up my money hats. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you even have the crease snakes. You know what I'm saying? I've shared the links. But my closing remarks will be the same as usual. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to, by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue. I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Try to do nature. Hotel.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes, and here, that's the flyer. Okay, so those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn. and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge. No question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Netia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.